Welcome to episode 15 of the Switchmania Playcast.
The Aces edition.
Aces edition. Ridiculous. Yeah, so we delve into Mario Tennis Aces, but first we'll do some housekeeping real quick.
Sure.
Have we seen much feedback from last week's Troll and I Trash or Treasure episode?
I did get one on YouTube, so now we're posting the YouTube audio on JP Switchmania.
Yep.
And Giorgio Asmer said, "Howdy, JP. That intro was so epic, and I am not trolling." So I'll pause right there. I absolutely love the intro. I actually had to play it a few times just because it was so majestic, and then all of a sudden it's like do 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 JP Switchmania do do do.
Wrong. It was Switchmania Playcast.
It was. I'm just so used to JP. Sorry.
He's all about himself, people.
I'm
See that?
selfish. Okay. Do. Switchmania Playcast. There we go. I played it, like I listened to it, then I played it again for Shanna, then I played it again, then a few more times, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best intro I've ever heard before. Uh, so then Giorgio said, so kind of you to mention my Twitter name, Kaiokin21, at the 35-minute mark because he had left us some feedback on Troll and I. He says, I feel so cool. Thank you for that, man. I'm loving the episode. As for Troll and I might try it when I get a Switch since the price is good. I think if a game interests us, we should definitely give it a chance. This one will go into my collection one day. Keep up the great work, you two, and have a blessed one. Can't wait for episode 15. And here it is, episode 15.
And here we are.
And then the other feedback. And then there was some other feedback that we got after the episode just saying, if a lot of people tend to comment on a game being bad, most chances are it is bad. And that just went into the whole, this game seemed to get a lot of hate. It spread like wildfire to the point where people who hadn't even played the game were already dismissing it. And, we had said, give it a chance. The game wasn't unplayable by any means. But, there was still that kind of thought. And then we did get some feedback as to people saying that they were going to give the game a chance. I hope they did. And even, when we post about this episode, if anyone wants to comment still on Troll and I or any of our past episodes, please feel free to do so. Let us know if you picked up any of the games that we talked about in earlier episodes, because I'm always curious to see, who listened to it and thought, hey, I'll try Tiny Barbarians. I'll try State of Mind. I'll try Troll and I finally. So that was the feedback that I saw. How about you?
Yeah, I saw a lot of polarizing opinions on Troll and I. And the thing is, they're not wrong. It's not a good game. That's why I gave it a 5. A 5 is an F. But it's not a 2 or a 3. It's like it's okay. And the thing is, if you're gonna use an old episode, just mention in reference to what game, and we'll be sure to definitely talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
So the next piece, I would like to definitely put a huge thanks out to Game On Expo and Gamester81, John Lester, for inviting me out, and the panel with Nerdy Nick was amazing. We're going to go into detail and talk some stories later on, but I just wanted to shoot out immediately a huge thanks, and I enjoyed talking with everybody and all the listeners that came over to my table. So I looked up the Apple podcast, and we actually have 10 5-star ratings now.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Really awesome. That's actually a pretty big uptick from last week, which is super cool. And I know JP was talking with me earlier about something, so go ahead, JP.
Sure. So I want to thank everybody. First and foremost, Jeffrey and I want to thank everybody for listening to our show, leaving feedback on Twitter, on YouTube, giving us the ratings on Apple Podcast, giving us a like on YouTube. And I think it's time for another Switchmania Playcast exclusive giveaway. So
Nice.
Right now, early on in the episode, you're already going to know how to enter. So it's going to be super simple. If you've left a review for us, take a screenshot of it. If you haven't left a 5-star review for us yet on Apple Podcast, do so either right now, pause the episode, or wait till the end. Leave us the rating, take a screenshot, and then tag myself, JP Switchmania. You can also tag Hagen Alley as well on Hagen's Alley on Twitter. The S cut off really quick. I'm sorry. And what can you win? Well, we're going to be giving away a first edition printing of Citus Alpha from PM Studios. It comes with the bonus music CD in a special extra size box. So it's the music CD and the game, brand new for the Nintendo Switch, obviously. And what we're going to do is whoever leaves us the 5-star rating takes a screenshot and tags us. We're going to compile all those people. We'll assign a number, and then we'll do a randomizer. And then on next week's episode, we'll announce who the winner is. So you'll have an entire week to just leave us a quick feedback. Also, if you want to, in addition to giving us the 5-star rating, if you want to actually leave some text about the episode, what you like, what you don't, what you want to see different, do so as well, because we always love feedback. But that is our brand new Switchmania Playcast giveaway of Citus Alpha. So
and what's great for the listeners is they're going to get Citus Alpha before me, because I actually don't have Citus Alpha yet. You're going to get it before me, people. I don't buy every game.
This is actually Jeffrey's copy I was going to give to him, so think how special you are now.
I get nothing for free, people. I just love the Switch.
So I'll repeat all this at the very end, just in case you didn't want to pause because you're just so captivated by our episode. So you'll have another chance to hear about our details. But yeah, new giveaway, very exciting, and it's exclusive to the Switchmania Playcast.
So captivated. Classics.
We are very energizing and exciting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then there's
so let's jump over to the game of the week. So let's go over Mario Tennis Aces. Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
The classic. So Mario Tennis Aces released for the Switch in June 22nd, 2018. Published obviously by Nintendo. Developed by Camelot Software Planning. They've done a lot of the different sports titles for the Mario series, going way back to like Game Boy Color and N64 era, which is pretty cool. It's gotten a meta score of a 75, which is a pretty decent game. It's in the green. The summary is a new Mario Tennis game is bringing a new level of skill and competition to Nintendo Switch. Mario steps onto the court in classy tennis garb for intense rallies against a variety of characters in full-blown tennis battles. New wrinkles in tennis gameplay will challenge your ability to read an opponent's position and stroke to determine which shot will give you the advantage. And this time, the game adds the first story mode since Mario Tennis on Game Boy Advance, offering a new flavor of tennis gameplay with a variety of missions, boss battles, and more. So this game offers support up to 4 players, and there is a super laggy, awesome online mode. Oh yeah, that's not on the site. That's just my own experience. Oh yeah. That would be my only, my only downpour was that I wasn't able to play with decent internet. So I'm not sure if the lagginess was my side. But I think this was because this game was free for the past week for Nintendo Switch Online users. And I think this was number one to help stimulate the online community for Mario Tennis Aces, since I've saw reviews where it's basically non-existent, like about in June. Like in June I saw some reviews. So I think this will help. This helped get some online stuff. This could be Nintendo's way of just bringing life back into a game that was released a year ago. Kind of cool. Good idea. So how much were we able to play? Go ahead, JP.
Sure. So I primarily focused on the story mode, and I put in, I would say, about 5 to 6 hours, and I'm still not done with the story mode. So I don't know how far you got, but essentially I am on the boat, and I'm heading towards the volcano island section of the map, looking still for the 4th Power Stone out of 5. So that's where I got to, because what I was doing is I would go to every single spot on the map that was playable. So I didn't want to skip anything, even though some of them were optional, like they kind of went on a side path. But I still wanted to do every single one. And the one that I'm stuck at right now is I have to rally back and forth 400 times. and I just can't do it. So that's kind of where I got stuck.
Mm.
And how about you?
Oh, I'm way behind. So basically, I went to Game On Expo, like I mentioned, from Thursday through Monday. And I was
Hmm.
traveling a lot on those days. I was really only able to play Thursday and Monday for the 2 days at the convention. And so I
Hmm.
got the second Power Stone.
Hmm.
So that's all I got was through the second Power Stone. I beat that mirror boss and everything. And
Yep.
there was a rally in that second world I couldn't do, and I had to skip it. I was just trying for like an hour or two, and I just couldn't do it. So I stopped and I moved on. I beat the boss, and then that's where I was. And then I played a few of the other modes because I didn't want to just play story mode. I wanted to try some of the other features.
Right.
So there is that too. So I played a bunch of the other features too.
Did you try the Joy-Con handheld mode, like using it as a tennis racket?
I did not because I was in an
So
airport and I didn't want to swing it around the airport.
so at lunch, I went into an empty office because I wanted to try it, and you know what? It actually played pretty well. The only problem with me is that I didn't have a lot of room in the office, so a lot of times when I would swing, I would just be hitting it off court. But I saw that like in my motions anyway, so it's not that it was inaccurate. But I thought it was pretty cool. It kind of brought me back to the Wii era with Wii Sports, or yeah, I think it was Wii Sports that came with the system and playing tennis, and it was pretty cool. It was a nice feature. It was a separate from the actual game itself. So it was as an option on the main menu to play in this kind of mode. But I thought it was fun. It's not something that I would probably wanted to have played the entire game as. I prefer just, holding the Joy-Con, but as opposed to just swinging it. But I thought it was a nice feature that they added. And it adds a little bit of that, excitement of standing in front of your TV or in front of the Switch if you're doing handheld and feeling like you're part of the action, feeling like you're Mario on the tennis court. So I thought that was nice of a feature that they had. And then I had done just a few matches online. I didn't notice really any issues, but I primarily focused on the story mode. Like I really wanted to go through that because I thought one, the story was interesting. It was fun gameplay. It was innovative, and I thought it's a very good way to learn all the mechanics of the game and all the styles and the power ups and whatnot is by playing through the entire story mode. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. And funny story, I was very excited to continue playing today during lunch, and lo and behold, I turn on my Switch, I click on the game icon on the main menu, and it says it's no longer available. And I didn't realize that I think the free trial ended yesterday, and I didn't
Yeah.
have the actual cartridge with me. Like I have the game, but I didn't have it with me, so I was just like, oh man, I couldn't play it anymore, and that made me really sad. So I just jumped into State of Mind.
Back to state of mind.
You know what? I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna beat it.
So it's interesting about the gimmick of the racket mode. Now, did your Joy-Con drift at all throughout this while you played? Cause
I'm I'm trying to think. I think I started having drifting issues again. I couldn't really tell because there were some times where I thought he was kind of moving to the left a little bit.
so I
But
was
I
having
don't.
Mario like get stuck and running upward multiple times,
Oh no, I
and
didn't. I did not have that.
I switched to different Joy-Cons and it was still doing it. So like even
Hmm.
to the Hori one that I have too. So I thought it was really weird. Like I don't know if I just need to. I did a hard reboot and it didn't, work. But
Oh,
I'm gonna have to
was
figure
this the
out.
first game that you saw this with?
Yeah, this is the first time,
Oh,
and yeah. So I don't know what was going on with it, but and it's 3 different Joy Cons I tried. That's what I have for left Joy Cons. So
hmm.
don't know. But I did notice that.
That's very interesting.
I think it's my Switch, not the game. So my notes that I took as I was playing it, 'cause, I always like to take little bullets as I play. I said, love the story mode
Yep.
with tons of different objects. It's not just tennis, because you like when you do the
Hmm.
rally stuff and all that, you unlock different rackets, and there's RPG
Yep.
elements. So you level up Mario as you continue to
Yes.
play. You level them up. You level up the rackets. You get everything more powerful. And what they recommend is if you get to a point like I was where I couldn't rally back and forth, they said continue on or go back and level up more and then come back. Um,
So I do have a comment on that. I don't know if you know this, but Same thing with me. The very first time you rally, I think was 200, and that was with the ghost level right before you're fighting the mirror boss.
There's
And I
one
lost so
before that.
Oh, there was a shorter one. Okay, so maybe this was the second one in the game.
Hmm.
And what happened was I had not been able to do the 200. And I don't know if you noticed, but on the retry screen, it says retry, go to the world map, and there was a third option that would pop up after I think like the fifth or seventh try. It said play with like power up to the max, like your power meter was full every single time.
Whoa.
And and it was funny because I started doing the 200 rally, and then all of a sudden I noticed that I had like this max power up, and then I realized that when I was playing with Josh, he had pressed it by accident. So I ended up beating that level kind of by cheating, like in-game cheating, the assist mode.
You
But
had
there is
assisted cheater.
I didn't, you know what? I honestly did not realize until I got to the 400 rally, and then I started losing, and then I saw that third icon option pop up that had like the max power, and I was like, oh, I'm like, that's how I beat that 200 one. But right now, I'm still trying to do it without it. I just think I'm gonna have to use that just to complete that. But two things. One is it's optional, right? Because it was kind of a side path, so you could skip it. But what I really liked about losing is that even when you lose, you win. Because, like you said, it had the RPG element. So every time I lost in the 200 rally, I would start gaining experience. And I honestly gained like quite a number of levels trying to go through the 200 to the point where it helped me later on in the game. Because, when you first start out, each of the matches are fairly easy. Like I didn't think they were that challenging, but leveling up really helped later on for me. And I thought it was nice that even when you lose, you're still gaining experience. So it's still helpful to keep going back and trying over and over again. So I did like that.
Yeah, I actually wrote quickly I was out of my league in terms of skill when it came to the game. And I kept at it though, and as you said though, I was leveling up. I never did beat that ghost level, but I also
Hmm.
didn't notice the little power up to the max thing, so I never
Hmm.
used any kind of assistance.
Hmm.
I don't really like using assistance on the Nintendo first party
Hmm.
games, but I mean, if it's that or I mean, because all you're gonna get is a free or a nice new tennis racket. So
Right.
I wrote down the boss battles are fun and not extremely difficult. Each boss has a gimmick.
Yep.
So what I mentioned earlier was the mirror boss, which was the last boss that I played. You
Hmm.
literally like are getting shot balls out of the mirrors, and then you like hit it, and then the mirror eats it up. And as you're playing, the mirror loses HP, and you have to work on timing so that the
Hmm.
key is if you don't work on your timing and don't learn how to block, your rackets are going to break. And then that's the main
Right.
thing that was killing me early on. And then when I learned how to block, I was able to deflect shots and slowly make progress because like in the first world you really don't have to worry about it too much. But the second world, I want to say that the last level I was stuck on was there was like a train and there was all these guys you had to keep like knocking out. I don't know if they're shy guys, but you had to keep hitting them.
Hmm.
And you get to like the third iteration, and they were constantly shooting power shots at you,
Oh yeah.
and I couldn't get past that. But I mean, that was literally like I had to get on my flight, so I didn't I stopped playing, and then that was the last time I was able to play.
Hmm. So So you didn't get past right. So you didn't get past that. So the next section, after the train, you go onto a boat, and it's bad waves and whatnot. And one of the bosses is an octopus,
Nice.
and same thing. So it's shooting the tennis balls or maybe even I think cannons out of its tentacles. And what's interesting is that up until that point, I hadn't used a certain move that Mario had, and I didn't realize I needed to use it until that boss because what happened was he'd be shooting the cannons out, you'd hit them back, but what would happen is every few turns one of the tentacles would slam down on the ground and block your path. So you'd either be stuck to the left or the right of him, and the
Mm.
balls would still be shooting to the side where you couldn't get to. And it took me a little bit. I was like, I don't understand this. I'm like, there's got to be a way that I could get to those. And then I realized that when you hit, I think it was the right trigger or the right analog, you would do your like your side flip
Yeah.
left or right. So you jump over, and I was like, oh wow, I had not used that move at all in the game up until that point. And then from that moment on, I was like, okay, that's something new that I just learned. That's why I think playing through the story mode is just very beneficial if you want to learn all the mechanics. If you're gonna,
Was that only with the right analog, or was there a button combination that you could do?
there may be, I don't remember a button combination.
Because
I just pressed it.
I just remember when I was playing versus the train part, I got
Hmm.
stuck because I kept on trying to lob the ball high and low, and I would continually do that move because I remember
Hmm.
my Joy-Con was doing some weird drift action. So like I think when you do some kind of combination, and it might have just been the drift was sitting on the right side. Maybe I'm switching out the left Joy Cons and it's the right Joy Con. But either way, I was having some issues with that when it came to like I kept flipping when I was trying to do the blocks and everything. And so
Hmm.
that's interesting. One technique though that I was using. So if you have trouble with the blocks and you're almost beating a boss and you need to kill him, but you don't want to break your racket because you're not great at the blocks, you can literally let the ball hit you and take the time penalty, and it won't
Yep.
damage your racket, so you can
I did
continue.
that a few times.
So there's like ways to just like like the little secret different techniques that that us cheaters use to try to get through. Is the next one I wrote is I'm not good exclamation point. That was my last one. That was my last one in the
That's
story
a good
mode.
point to note.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up playing tennis, like real tennis. So I played from age 8 to 18. I had a coach. I played on like extracurricular leagues. I played through high school. I actually was the captain of my varsity team, and I'll be honest, I was not very good, but I was on the high school team. So I've always enjoyed tennis. I love virtual tennis. I mean, to me, I think that's still one of my favorite games. Was the very first one for the Dreamcast.
Oh, that's a
This one,
classic.
yeah. This one I thought was extremely fun. And I was one of those people when the game first came out, actually when they actually had a demo for it. I don't know if you remember this, but they had a short time like weekend demo
Yep.
before the game had come out. And I had played it then I go, "Oh, I really liked it." The game came out. I played very little of it. I don't even think I played the story mode at all. I just kind of did like some quick matches. And this was the first time that I played the story mode. And the first thing I thought of as the story started, I was like, I loved Prince of Tennis, the anime, back in the day. This is a perfect anime. Like, I wish all of, like, just imagine being in the world where all your problems are solved by playing tennis. I mean, that's really what it was. It's like you almost had to not laugh as, like, the evil spirit comes back, they take over the characters. Mario and Toad have to go on an adventure, and along the way, they have to overcome obstacles by playing tennis. I
Everything
thought
is solved by tennis.
that was absolutely like I loved it. I mean, that just like to me was just like, yes, this is exactly the kind of RPG-ish story action adventure kind of game that I want to be playing is a tennis game. And I really liked it because, it wasn't just straight up tennis. Even if you took out the power-ups, when you're on the ship, you have the masts right in the middle of the court. So you had to maneuver the ball around it, and that actually added a whole element to it because the opposing I'll say bad guy opponent would actually use power moves where he would hit the side of the mass so it would ricochet off of it. So you think it's going one way, and all of a sudden, boom, it hits it, and it just goes completely the opposite way.
Yep.
And I liked it. It kept the game very fresh. And throughout, all of the different levels. So you have the forest, you had the ghost world, you have the ship, and you had the snow-capped mountains, and then eventually you're gonna come to the lava volcano area that I haven't been to yet. But I like that each one was a little bit different. And like you said, the bosses had gimmicks to them, and I liked it. I mean, I found it to be very fun, and it's interesting because I remember seeing a lot of reviews kind of talking down about the story mode,
Oh no,
but
absolutely not. That's a super highlight. It gives it variety.
yeah, well, I thought so too. But I read some reviews that people weren't a fan of that.
Wow.
I I was in the opposite camp. I really enjoyed it, and you know, it's it's tennis, right? It's a tennis game for the Switch, which we definitely do not have that many of them. But I like that there's a story mode to it, and it's not just straight up single player matches or online, and that's it. I mean, this is just fun Mario Tennis.
So here's a quick did you know? That
Yes.
this was not the first game the first tennis game to offer an RPG mode. There's actually a game called World Court Tennis released in 1989 for the TurboGrafx 16 that has a comprehensive RPG story mode. You go through 8-bit style and you hit random battles that are fought with tennis. Like,
that's awesome.
It just takes that to like a new level of like craziness, because like with this one you have like your Mario like level layouts, which is super cool, and you go straight in. This one has rando battles, which gets super annoying really quick when you have random world battles. But it's super hilarious how you're playing everything with tennis. Like it's super cool, and I loved that game on the TurboGrafx 16. And we'll talk a little bit more about Turbo later on when I do my Game On Expo review. But my goodness, yeah, World Court Tennis on the TurboGrafx, such a classic. Yeah, I couldn't believe like that. There's such like a good correlation, and yeah, I mean honestly, to me, the story mode is what puts this over the top, because I mean otherwise you have everything right now on for a normal Mario Tennis game on this already without the story mode. Like it's everything that's been on every other one. And there was one I didn't actually talk about. I played a lot of ring mode.
I did not play that one.
I was playing single player, but with everyone, so everybody was working together to get the most points. And essentially, you're just sitting there playing tennis. And for some reason, like we were playing like hardcore, like trying to kill each other with the special moves and everything. But it goes you shoot through rings, and as you go through rings, it does multipliers and bonus points and everything. You have to get to a certain amount, which I think the first one that I played was like 5,000 points. I got 10,000 points the first time, so it wasn't super difficult, but it was fun just rallying back and forth with rings. And it's just there's a bunch of modes like that, ton of different little bonus game modes that are pretty one and done. But if the game was just made of those, it would be kind of boring. But the fact that you can go through a whole story mode is like, it's genius, honestly. Like,
oh yeah,
so cool.
And it's actually a fairly good length story. I mean, if you're going through everything, you know, you're hitting all of the battles, all of the, I'll call them side quests, but you know, like the side missions. There's a lot to the game, and it's a fun story, right? I mean, there's cutscenes, you're right, it has everything, and I overlooked this game when it came out. You know, it came out, I bought it, and I go, okay, like, you know, it's Mario Tennis, but I had other games to play, and I probably would not have gotten to this one anytime soon, unless for the Playcast episode. And the fact that it was free, I thought was just great, because I really do think, I mean, that convinced me to keep playing it, right?
What's funny is like
even if you didn't play,
even with the Playcast, we wouldn't have played it unless it was free.
Yeah, I think it was a good move on Nintendo's part. I hope more people took advantage of it, because I don't know how widely known it was that this was a free game for a while. I mean, I really wasn't paying attention like online, or I don't even remember seeing an email from Nintendo saying like, hey, you know, try this game out for the next few days. It wasn't until you had mentioned it that I went to download it, and there it had the description on the eShop about it, like how long it would be good for. So I don't know how many people, you know, knew about it if we hadn't, you know, aside from us talking about it and other people who may have been following, you know, Nintendo's page or whatnot. But I didn't think it was kind of like widely known, though.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing is you mentioned the early access beta. And I played that, and I played a lot of it. I thought it was fun. I actually played it with my daughter, London, and we enjoyed it. And then I never bought it. I still don't own it. And so this was my opportunity to play it again. And this time they had the story mode, because the beta was just a little bit of online. That's all it was, which was cool. Now you get to play the story mode a lot, which was super fun. And now the trial's up. Of course, I'm going to be waiting till hopefully it comes down in price a little, physically used or something. I'm okay with that, unless there's some comprehensive collector's guide I'm not tracking, which I don't think there is a collector's version of this game. Is there?
Oh no, there's only one version of this game.
Good. I don't have to spend a ton. So what listener comments do we have?
Well, even before that, I just have to
Mm-mm.
say I have a bad habit of being on the computer when we talk, and it's nothing personal. It's just Switch news never stops. But when you mentioned the Mario Tennis Power Tour for the Game Boy Advance and with the RPG element, I remember that, and I was like, it's making me want to play this. So I'm kind of on eBay right now, about to buy it. So I just had to share with the listeners that, after I finish this story mode, I think I'm
Sharing
going to
with
be
the
jumping back in
listeners
time.
that you're always
Yeah.
doing other things on the
Um,
podcast.
s- I want them to know that I don't stop with the Switch news. I multitask. But let's jump into the listeners. So every week on my Twitter page, I put a poll out, and I said on this week's episode with Hagen's Alley, Hagen's with an S,
Oh,
we
you
are
have
going to be
S's too.
talking all about Mario Tennis Aces from Nintendo America. But have you played it? If so, comment below on what you think, and we'll read your responses. So we had 172 votes, which is a good turnout. Thank you for everyone who did that.
Absolutely.
So 3% of people said they are going to play it this week. So those 3%, I hope, will comment when we post this episode and let us know if they did and what they thought about it. 4% of people said that they own the game and have not played it. So again, I hope they opened it up and tried it, or maybe just downloaded it and tried the free version. 44% of people said they played it, and 49% of people said they have not played it. So that's a good audience of people that are hopefully experiencing Mario Tennis for the first time this week. But let's get right into the comments. So we actually had quite a number of them, which is always appreciative. So the first one is from Landon Wynn. He said, I really enjoyed playing it, and I thought the adventure mode was fun to go through. At Monotone Gent, it's probably my favorite of the Mario Tennis games. The racket breaking keeps games interesting. And I agree with that. One thing I'll say is I was having trouble on the boat beating one of the sub bosses, and the way that I ended up winning was I would charge up my power shot, and I got him to break his racket enough times that it caused the KO because he was just too good for me. Like his moves were just like on point that I just could not win. So I went with the KO method, and it worked. And
Weird.
I'm glad that element was in the game. hmm So at Petchy Owl said, only played through the story mode back when I bought it, but enjoyed that a lot. At Heck 580, I like the game mechanics quite a bit. It's inventive and the game controls really well, but the mini games are repetitive and there's not much extra content of the game. Adventure is too short and easy. Swing mode is cool. Ring shot is repetitive. The game's not bad, but lacking. At Tex Jokum said, tried the demo, definitely not a game for me. At original underscore PMF said, I owned it at launch, was disappointed, and traded in within 3 weeks. Been updates since then and played again thanks to the EU offer. Still disappointed in it, to be honest. At Don Coop, as a freebie, I'm finding the story mode okay, but nothing to write home about. Post that, not sure it would have enough to make me purchase. And at Kalidi3 said, just beat with a day left of the trial. I had fun beating the adventure mode.
Nice.
So yeah,
Sounds
so
like we have some
oh,
divisive listeners. We either have some that liked it, some that didn't. I mean, it makes sense though because like if you enjoy tennis, you're gonna enjoy this. If
mhm.
you're not a huge tennis fan, I don't think this game is going to change that unless you just enjoy all the crazy power ups and jumping all over the place and all the different
Right.
crazy moves and things.
Mhm. That's true.
So I mean, it really all depends, but thank you everybody for your comments. So what do you think about a recommendation?
Sure. So I'll start. So I would recommend this game. Like I said, I am a big tennis fan. It's my number one favorite sport. I've been playing it since I was little. Haven't played it in recent years, but I've always appreciated the game. So when there's a tennis game available, I always try them out. And like I said, virtual tennis I love. The top spin games were good. And the Mario Tennis games have always been fun since I believe N64, right? I mean, you know what?
N64.
Let's jump back even further. Just Game Boy. Remember tennis? Mario was in that game, and I think he was the referee. I don't think he was actually a player, but he was in that game on the old school Game Boy. So I've been enjoying tennis games for a long time. This one, to me, I absolutely loved. I love the story mode. I love going through it. I find it very fun to fight your battles through tennis matches. To me, that's just like a dream come true. So it hit home with me. I love that they added a lot of content, the DLC characters. Um, I loved it overall. I mean, I would honestly recommend this game. The price point may turn off people a little bit, right? Because it's a first party game, so it tends to be at that high range price. But I have seen it go on sale. I think I've seen it as low as $44.99 at Target in the past. I've seen it go for 50 at Best Buy. And I would imagine that come holiday season, we'll see price drops on these ones, or at least, Black Friday deals or something, if you want to wait that long. But me, I absolutely recommend this game. I think it's fun. I think it has a lot of replayability. And if you have the online membership, you can keep the game going by playing online and ranking yourself and just, challenging other people. So if I had to give a score, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice. For me, since the trial is now over and I don't own the game, I'm probably going to hold off, just waiting for it to probably go on sale. I'm not looking for a super super cheap version, but like if I could get like my daughter into wanting to play it or something, that'd be a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that I was away from home the entire time, I didn't get a chance to see if she would dig it or not before the trial ended. However, I enjoyed my time with it. Definitely need to play a lot more before I'm ready to continue on with the story mode because, yeah, I got my butt whooped. Definitely not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that the online will probably quickly go back into obscurity where it's going to be tough to do matches now that the online is over because obviously there was a lot of people online this week because of the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Nintendo in the future could do some kind of, like they're doing the Splatoon events all the time. Maybe they can start doing some Mario Tennis events to get more people on there. That would be super cool.
Mm-hmm.
That would actually, if they were going to do an event or something, I might actually buy the game and just so I can participate in some of that and get slaughtered. I mean, what's going to happen is not going to do well. But I really think the RPG mode is awesome. I'm with you that the Game Boy Advance version probably a good idea to pick that up too if you're enjoying the RPG stuff, and then of course the Turbo game is just classic too. Honestly, like I loved Super Tennis. I called it Super Effin' Tennis back in the day, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody wrote Effin' on my cartridge. like, like it
One
was
of a kind.
just a classic. And I played a lot of Mario Tennis on the 64. There's a lot of gimmickry with all the different power-ups, but I think that helps kind of give it its own unique like aspect to it, its identity, and I really think it's a fun game. I would agree with you that it's a top tier. The meta scores and user scores are about a 7. I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it got an award for like one of the most discussed Switch games of 2018, like number 6. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty big game and definitely cool. I'll be waiting for it to go on sale, and I'm okay getting it used, absolutely, because I'm I'm a gamer on a budget as always. But now that we're over it with the playcast for a while, I'm gonna hold off because we got lots of other bigger fish to fry.
I would say that that is a game that you can easily find use, whether now or later, even on the Facebook group. I'm sure people are trading this one in, but it's just one of those games that you will see in stores. And hopefully the price will drop at some point. That'll be enticing for you to pick up, and maybe we'll talk about it again in the future.
Exactly. So for the next game, since we just went with the online one, I think it's my turn. And
It is your turn. I'm excited.
I do have a game. I'm gonna go with what you did to me, which gave me no choice. So I'll go back to the choices next time. But
Okay,
actually,
fair enough.
I'm going to jump into the latest game that I paid full price for, $60. I need to play it to
Oh
justify
my
to my
God.
wife that it was worth buying. So we're gonna be playing
Uh-oh.
God Eater 3.
Ah, okay, nice.
What did you think we
I
were going with?
I don't know. I thought you were gonna go with an older title,
Oh,
but I know that you had mentioned God Eater 3 on a previous episode, so I knew that was on your radar as one that you wanted to dive into.
oh
And
yeah.
lo and behold, I own it too, so I'm happy to bust it open and start playing this.
Oh, you own it, huh? Oh, you own it. Every game.
It's one of the few games I own for the Switch. I don't have that many.
Okay, cool. So you actually got this one. Great.
You
That'll
know what I
be.
did? Yes, yes. It worked out very well.
But yeah, like when I pay $60 for a game, like my wife gives
Mhm.
me crap, so I definitely need to justify getting it. And this week, dedicating some time to God Eater 3 will be great. I'm probably gonna also try to watch the anime as well, since I've not seen the anime, so that'll be
That I
important.
probably won't have time to do, but you will let us know how well it not relates, but how well it enhanced your game
Yeah. It
experience.
might be just an episode because anime
Mhm.
episodes are like 20 minutes. I can always knock out one of those quickly.
Mhm.
But yeah, so everybody join us for God Eater 3 down the Switch third party rabbit hole.
Oh boy.
So now it's time to move over to the pickups section.
Yay! My
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
section.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
every section's my favorite, but this is one of my favorites.
So I only have a couple games that I got in. Actually, I had two, plus some extra bonus stuff.
Nice.
And of course, I got other non-Switch things at the gaming convention that I posted.
Yes.
But I got the Guacamelee 1-2 Punch that you got last week. I got it
Nice.
in the mail the next morning.
Oh, good.
So like, I was like, oh, look at that. Of course, it had all the goodies in it and everything, which is amazing. In all honesty, though, I've been meaning to play Guacamelee 1 and 2. And
Hmm.
one thing I didn't mention last week, because I knew I was getting it in and we'd get to talk about it this week, is my buddy Ryan Hernandez, part of Mariachi Entertainment System, did some of the music for the game for Guacamelee 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
like they recorded the music for it, and I've heard it and it's amazing. And I've actually used their music in some of my Kickstarter trailers in the past, which is super fun.
Nice.
Yeah, they do mariachi video game covers, but now they're in a video game. It's like super meta. So I definitely want to. I've not played Guacamelee 1 or 2. I've owned Guacamelee 1 on multiple different consoles.
Hmm.
I still haven't played it. Like it's one of those backlog things that everyone's like, you love Metroidvanias and professional wrestling and luchador stuff and Mexican culture. Like this is the game for you. So I definitely would like to play that in the future. But it goes to the backlog. Um,
And I will say that if anyone's interested in how the games play, we did a review for both titles on jpswitchmania.com, so check those out.
how many reviews do
Spoiler,
you have now?
oh, we
500
just
plus.
posted our 400, I think our 408th review. We posted today, and spoiler alert, we have a backlog of reviews that we're putting out daily. So I would say at this point we have already close to 425, 430 ready to go, but we just don't want to pump them out all in one day, so we like to spread them out. But yeah, we just it's crazy. It's been just under a year since the site opened up, and we've surpassed our 400th review, which was Enter the Gungeon, and it's
Yep.
just been phenomenal. So thank you to my entire team. If you're listening, which I hope you are, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for everyone who's reading the reviews and the publishers and developers supporting us and allowing us the opportunity to play their games and share what we thought with everybody. But yeah, the Guacamelee games, excellent titles.
Don't let JP kid you. All he did was talk positive about you guys at Midwest Gaming Classic. That's all he did was talk you guys up. It was awesome.
Do I really say anything bad? No.
I said talk good. Does JP ever say anything bad? I could barely get him to say something bad about Troll and I. Come on now. Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it's definitely interesting, having tons of reviews out there, and Guacamelee
Hmm.
is a great one. The other game that I got was I
Yes.
finally got Death Road Canada from Play
Yes.
Asia.
Woo!
Um, I don't like that they included the little mini Switch box keychain because it
What?
makes me want them for every game.
Yes, but they're not out for every game.
It makes me want them for every game, damn it, because I'm
Have you
OCD.
seen the ones from Japan?
Yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
they had two waves of those, and apparently, so sorry to hijack your your what came in, but I learned something recently is that they sold these separately on Amazon Japan, right? So they had Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, some other games. But then what I noticed is with the Dragon Ball Z games, they put them out. And they didn't sell them separately. You actually had to buy the Japanese version of like Xenoverse 2, and I even think Dragon Ball Fighters, and you would get the keychain. And the keychain wasn't available separately. And I've been debating back and forth whether I really need to own the Japanese version of the games just to get the keychains. But those keychains are so cool.
I know. I hate that they included it because it makes me want more. Uh,
Uh-huh.
it's like,
And I love I mean, have you taken it out? Did you look at it?
oh, it's amazing. Like,
Yeah,
I haven't opened it yet, but like the actual game yet. But like, it's so cool, and I hate
it
that they
is.
included it for free because it makes me want them all now.
And I
And
love the fact that they actually put their numbering on the spine, like they made it as authentic to the actual case of the game as possible. And I love that, it fits a little game. I don't know if I'd ever really travel with a game in it and, keep it like on a key ring or anything, but I just love the novelty of it and I love the little details to it. I think it's a great pre-order bonus and yeah, I'm glad PlayAsia did it. You may not be, but I am.
I'm very sarcastic, JP.
Oh, I know. Oh, I
Anyways,
know.
I think there would be a cool way to display those. Though would be like to hang a string in the game room or something where you could like clip them
Yes.
all on,
Hmm.
or even just clip them all on like a fan or you know what I mean. Like there's a ways because I've done some unique things with like even my convention badges and those are pretty big.
Hmm.
These are small. Like you could hang them somehow and have some really cool like little Switch swag display. I think that'd be an idea.
Do you know what I just picture now? Switch collector little keychain.
I mean, if somebody
I
out
think
there
it looks
knows how
so
to make
cool.
those, we can do it. But we gotta figure out how
Well,
to
I
make
know
them.
of a company that knows how to make them. PlayAsia somehow got these made.
Yeah, they
Maybe
might.
we can talk to them.
Hey, if PlayAsia wants to do a partnership for the Switch Collector, I'm down. We'll do giveaways for those. Only
I'm going to.
available giveaways.
I will
I'm
talk to them because I think that'd be awesome to have a little Switch collector keychain that looks like the cover and then it holds a Switch game inside.
and not to get too far ahead, but like there's gonna be a lot of cool items with the Switch Collector that like we're gonna literally do as like giveaways or to like the first few
Hmm.
people that get the everything tier. Like, there's some craziness. So we're gonna talk about it later in the episode. I don't want to get too far
That's fine.
ahead,
That's yeah,
but
that's fine.
like,
That's fine.
there's gonna be some really cool stuff. Like, the more JP and I start revealing and working on stuff, the more excited we're both getting, which is bad because
Yeah.
we gotta get to writing more. like both of us need to get to writing more, and I'm like, oh, but it's so cool developing cool stuff.
I I literally was talking to my dad about this right before we started recording, and I must have talked his ear off for about 20 minutes just about the book and what the whole campaign is going to be about and what we're planning. And just like with the show, I don't think I stopped talking. Like I didn't stop to breathe for 1 minute the whole time. I'm just like I can't stop smiling when I think about like this project. I'm just so excited for it. But that's all I'm going to say. We're going to talk about it later. So let's keep going with
Oh yeah,
what we got in.
like after every convention, I like it's crazy, and we'll talk about that later too.
Okay, okay.
The last piece that I got in was I got in some Sydney Hunter swag.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so I mean Collective Vision Games was at Game On, and they were demoing their game, which they say is going to launch in September on the eShop. So
Hmm.
I told them I would definitely give them a plug once it goes live. We'll definitely talk about it because if it does well, they're going to release it physically. It has to do well digitally. And they said that they're going to work a deal so they put up some money so they maintain ownership of the game somehow. Like so whoever they publish it with. Um, Interestingly, right across the aisle from them was Limited Run Games. So we'll see. Because they were talking with them and FX Unit Yuki this weekend. So
Oh,
and
great.
me. Hint hint about some stuff. But yeah, I got some
So I would
crazy
say
stuff.
now if we can break the rules, I say that once the Sydney Hunter releases, let's you mentioned plug, but let's make it the game of the week because I want to play it,
Me too.
and I think that'd be a perfect time once it comes out, and maybe we can have them on also.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get like at least Ben the programmer on or somebody
Awesome.
on or JF or somebody. But I mean, at worst case scenario, we'll have Game Straight on. Come on, John. Come on,
Yeah,
have fun.
absolutely. And
But
I follow Collector Vision on Facebook, and so many times people have been asking like, "Oh, is there a physical for a Switch?" And you're right, they say the same thing. Let it do well digitally, and we're absolutely looking into physically, and that's how games go, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
needs to do well for it to justify a physical. And Sydney Hunter, I have it on the SNES, and you mentioned that it's going to be different in ways on the Switch version,
Oh, it's a
but
brand new
I,
game.
I yeah.
Brand new
So I like the
programming engine.
SNES, and I'm excited for it on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean they've literally put this game out on almost every retro console
Everything. Yeah.
now. Like they have a ColecoVision, Intellivision, Sega Master System, Super Nintendo. I got an NES promo box because the NES version is
hmm
almost done. They put it out on like almost everything, and the Super Nintendo one, of course, was the one that they first put it out on. Well, they programmed a
hmm
brand new game. I mean, they had DJ Medina Sarimaru come in and do the like art on the boss, the final boss and stuff. Like this is a brand new, like modernized version of it, and so it's kind of like taking an old school game and then making a Switch version, a new version, like Blaster Master to Blaster Master Zero. That's what they're doing. So it's gonna be pretty amazing. Um,
So am I wrong that I saw a picture of them trying it on the Switch with an NES controller?
yeah, they were definitely trying it with an NES
I-
controller.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I know it uses more buttons than a traditional NES,
hmm
but it is going to be, as far as I'm tracking, the first game to use the NES controller. That's not one of the online games. Like they're programming it
Oh,
for the NES Switch controller that Nintendo put out.
oh wow.
Yeah, that's something we're
Okay,
definitely
that
going
sounds
to
even
try.
more awesome.
We're definitely gonna try that because I want to play
Oh
it
yeah.
like that. So I mean, people can let me know if I'm incorrect or if they decide not to do that. But I was 90%, 99% sure that they were doing that, which is awesome.
hmm
The swag that I got though was they released a Switch promo, double sided promo that has two different box art on it, and
hmm
I got a pile of them. So I will be bringing them with me to Retro World Expo. That way JP gets one, as well as anybody who comes and visits
Phew.
us.
Whew.
Yeah, they
I was
had
holding my breath for a minute.
yeah, they gave me a pile of them, and they said, "There you go." So I'll definitely be having those and giving those out at Retro World Expo next month too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. It's a Switch box and everything. Like, surprised you didn't comment on my picture because it looks like a Switch case.
Yeah, I may have missed this. Was this on Twitter or Facebook that you posted,
All of
or
the
both?
things, as I
All of
did
the things, eh?
Instagram all the way from Twitter down, and yeah, it's like I also got
Oh, there it is. Wow.
yeah. It's double sided.
Yep, I'm sold.
Yeah, it looks cool, and both sides look cool too. That's the other thing. The artwork that they have done is amazing, and you think they would continue to go with the Joe Simcoe Garbage Pail Kids art that they initially did, but they have other talented artists that are doing covers.
That's
Super
awesome. And I
amazing.
and I see you bought the NES version of the game,
Uh,
Curse of the Mayan.
so that was the promo box that came with a cartridge, but no game in the cartridge yet. It was just like a promotion
Oh, okay.
box. But it's a full
Nice.
NES box and everything. So,
Oh yeah, it looks
um,
nice.
yeah. So I don't know if because I mean I backed the NES version, so hopefully
hmm
the art is. I think they were doing acclaim art or something like they're doing retro style. I think it might have been Ultra Box, but
hmm
it'll be cool to finally get to play it on the NES. Initially, they were going with a programmer called Savak who did Battle Kid Fortress Apparel. And what's funny is the Sydney Hunter moved as fast as Battle Kid, which was like super fast comparatively to the actual Sydney Hunter games. And then
hmm
when they did the game on Retro World Championships on a cartridge a few years back, Sydney Hunter was on it, and it was like super slow. It's slower than the Super Nintendo one. So it'll be interesting to see since they've been working on it for like years now, where it
hmm
goes from there. But that's super cool because I love like brand new Nintendo games too. But the Switch version is amazing. I've played it multiple times, and it's every time I play it, it blows me away. Can't wait to check it out. And it sounds like that's
Uh-huh.
going to be a September game for us.
And that's very soon.
So what did JP get?
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I
He
got
got
games. So
nothing. No.
I got I got enough that I could break them in by region this week. So
Oh
I'll start with my
my.
one US release. So I got my last of the Fosicle games, which is Super Putty Squad. It
No.
came out. I will say this though, this game actually released, I want to say 2018 physically with a cartridge in the UK.
Yep.
So I did own this game physically, and then in the US we got a digital code in a box. So
You have a
that was my
sickness,
one
Jake.
US release.
Sickness.
Nah,
Well,
it's
in
Switchitis.
all honesty, though, that's gonna be like we talked about last week. It's going to be a divisive stance that collectors are gonna have, whether they count the foxicles. I'm gonna call it foxicles just because I'm different. Whether they count the digital code only games or not, because it's basically a collection is what you make of it. But these are retail releases in the U.S. So I mean, to me, it's just a box. There's no game in it, so from preservation, it sucks. But
Mm-hmm.
from a collector standpoint or completionist standpoint, it's on the shelf. So it's hard to justify not saying no, it's not part of it. However, I think in book purposes, it should be in its own little section because it's a subset.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move into the EU region. So the first one I got was Red Art Games' second release, which is Stay by
Nice.
Abnormal's team. So it came in and it actually has exclusive DLC content that was not available anywhere else except for this physical release.
Hmm.
And also what's really cool is as a little bonus item, it came with a pin as well. And I like that. So I got that in. The next game I got,
What kind of game is Stay?
so it's an interesting game. I haven't played it. We did review it for the site, so our review is there. But essentially, you are talking to a person through a computer, and you have to
Yeah.
maintain a relationship with them and kind of keep them calm and help solve puzzles. And if I recall correctly, going away from the game, like actually physically leaving the game and then coming back later will affect it. Because he'll know like in how long you've been away from the computer. So, knowing when to play the game, when to walk away, like actually like, as you, the real person, walk away from your Switch and then come back. So it adds that element. And overall, I would say it's a 7 out of 10. I have to check what we gave it, but it's a fairly good game. Some challenging puzzles, but overall I really like the concept behind it.
I just had to ask because like I knew it was like an interesting like weird game that I don't know if I would quite dig, but like I know it's gotten some decent reviews and some listeners might enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah. And it may be one that we play on a future episode.
Maybe.
Okay, so the next game I got was Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet Complete Edition. And this is an EU physical, and actually I think also in Japan it got out physically, and in the US it's digital only, unfortunately, just like the previous Sword Art Online game that came out. And this one comes with the main game plus all the DLC plus the Dissonance of the Nexus game expansion, all on the cartridge. So there was no codes in the box; it's all on the cart. And what's really cool is I pre-ordered this from Shop for Megastore, and they had a pre-order bonus of 3 4x6 art cards. So I got 3 art cards with it.
So interestingly, is the Sword Art games have always been something that's intrigued me because the anime itself is basically an MMO where the main
Yes.
protagonist like gets sucked into the world, and none of those games have really been an MMO yet. They've always been more of like an action-based RPG style deal. And
Well, yeah.
which are super cool and definitely up my alley, pun intended. But like definitely cool, but they haven't quite taken what the actual show is based on, which is interesting.
Yeah, so this one is a third-person shooter action role-playing game.
Yeah,
So that's
see.
the style. I'm trying to think what the other. It was Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization. So that was the first one that came out for the Switch, and that one, I'm trying to see what kind of style. That one actually I think is more along the lines of the series, like follows a little more traditionally. It actually reminds me, if you remember the Dot Hack series
Oh yeah.
that came out for the PS2. I mean, that was like an MMO offline, right? Because you'd go into a fake chat room, you'd check your emails, You'd put in the codes on how to get to certain levels. So it played like an MMO, except it was completely offline, like with fake, NPC characters, fake online characters, and I like that concept. I think it's pretty cool. So it's good that Sword Art is kind of picking that up in the next generation of consoles
And I was
from the dot
definitely
hack. Although,
obsessed with dot hack back in the day too.
and I will say, I would absolutely love to see what they did with the dot hack or the dot hack GU series, where they put it all out on PS4. I would love to see that come to the Switch. I mean, I haven't heard of anything, but putting those three games or even putting the first four dot hack games together in one release, I think would just be great on the Switch. So I'm crossing my fingers that one day we may see it. You never know.
Let's hope.
Okay. So let's keep going. So the next game I got, the last one from the UK, was Ultra Wings Flat. So this is a truly the ultimate hobbyist aircraft game for the Nintendo Switch. Complete a variety of challenges across this beautifully stylized open world, including shooting balloons, performing spot landings, competing in thrilling air races, and more. Unlock new airports and new aircrafts as you progress. And it looks cool. I actually meant to play this at lunch today. I just did not have time.
Is it not a
But,
play on the
from the
words
back of it,
pilot wings? I mean, honestly, like it
yes,
sounds
I think it's like a
they absolutely called it Ultra
spiritual
Wings
successor.
just to play on the name so that us nostalgic gamers would check it out. The question will be when you actually check it out is like, does it have the shine and the polish of a Pilot Wings, or is it just like a quick cash grab?
Right. We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move to Asia and Japan. So I got a game a second time because apparently an English cover got released, and as far as I could tell, I could only find it on eBay. But it's Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody from Square Enix. I bought this when it came out in Asia because it supported English, and it had Japanese characters on it, Japanese text. And then out of nowhere last week, a English cover appeared, and it was through a store in New York, and they were selling it. And I bought from them before, so I knew they would be good and quick. But there's now an official English cover to this game, so I kind of had to buy it, and I did.
Does the English cover support English? Because sometimes the Asian release supports English, and then the Japanese one does not. So it'd be interesting to know if like the English cover doesn't. That'd be kind of ironic and funny.
If the English cover doesn't support
English.
Oh, no, it does. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures and there's English text.
Good. Because I was like,
Like
it'd be
game
kind
screen.
It'd be kind of ironic if it like the version with English on the cover didn't support English.
Oh, yeah. And I will say, interesting tidbit is that you can play co-op, so you can play alone or with a friend in this game. Co-op play is limited to dungeons where two players can play using two Joy-Cons.
Weird.
So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Sounds fun though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So then I got Olympics 2020 Tokyo, the official video game, and this is by Sega. And they actually have a demo on the Japanese eShop where you could play a few of the different events. And I will have to say, I played the tennis one, and it is the closest thing to Virtua Tennis. I mean, it's by Sega, who did Virtua Tennis, and it actually played a little similar. I wouldn't say it was as fast as I remember, but it played arcade stylish, and it's only one of I would say what is it, 16 different events. I see so it's all in Japanese on the back, but I see one that says BMX. So I'm very, very curious now to see what's in there. And looking at the pictures, there's boxing. There seems to be baseball, the race hurdles. The I don't know what the sport is called, where you're kind of swinging a ball on a chain, like in a circle, and then you throw it.
Hammer throw.
Yep. So they have that. They have tennis. And I will say, for anyone who hasn't bought this yet, two things. One, this game does support English. So if you imported it, it plays in English. But I learned after this came in that we are actually getting a U.S. release in 2020. So if you go to the website for this game, and I think if you just type in Tokyo 2020 official video game, you'll find the Sega website. It shows that a U.S. release is coming. I couldn't tell if we're getting a physical. It sounds like we are, but if you hold off until next year, there's a good chance you could buy the English version and not double dip like I'm going to. All right, and the last game is the same one you got. So I got Death Road to Canada. I bought the collector's edition from East Asia Soft, and I also got that really cool little mini keychain. And for those who don't know, the collector edition comes with the game, comes with an original soundtrack CDs, a numbered certificate, and an illustrated manual in a nice box. And this is their 7th release.
Yep.
But I got this one in. And for anyone
I
who's
have 6 releases because I still have not gotten Panty Party.
well, did you buy Onikin and Odalist collection?
Yeah, I got a shipping announcement.
Yes.
But I
Yep.
did
It
not get it.
finally they were waiting for all the DLC content because they want to include it all on the cart, which is very thankful of them. So that's why it was delayed a bit. But I believe everyone should have gotten their shipping notification now. So that'll be a game that we'll probably be mentioning that we got in the next week or two.
And by the way, Death Road Canada looks like complete absolute mayhem. Like it looks like an overhead
Yes.
Robotron shooter where you play as crazy characters like knights and horses and girls with pink hair,
Uh-huh.
and you just kill everything. Like it looks awesome. I mean, I am like very selective with the games that I'm going to back, and it just looks ridiculous. Like it's right up the gameplay that I love.
And I did hear feedback on the Facebook group of people who got in and asking, is it worth it? And people are like addicted to this game.
Yeah,
So
like,
that's a good sign. That's a good
might be
sign of a fun game.
might be a future play because we haven't done a Play Asia limited yet.
We have not. I think at some point we're going to be having like daily Switchmania Playcast just to play all these games.
Oh, we're never
There's,
gonna get through
there's
it
so
all. We're only hitting
so many that
50
we
games, 52 games a week if we do one if we don't skip any weeks. That's
Mhm.
definitely that's like less than what was released the first year. Like we're not gonna be close, man.
No, I know. But as we go through the episode, we keep going like, maybe this will be one. Maybe this will be one. And we have a backlog of future games.
Well, you know what's gonna happen is like listeners definitely ping us with what you want us to play, and we will take that heavily into consideration as the weeks come out. Because if we get a
Yes,
lot of
absolutely.
requests for like Death Road Canada, we're gonna play it. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So super cool. So that was your last one.
That was my last one that's come in. I'm a little sad.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you're gonna have a million more. I mean Friday 13th is coming. Like I haven't gotten that yet.
Oh, did did I not mention that last week? Did I get it afterwards? Okay, I'm sorry. So I got Friday the 13th, the game in. Okay, there was one more. The reason I don't have it with me is because they were kind enough to send us a review copy. So I gave it to my reviewer to review it, which he did. That was our 401st review on the site, and it's a great game. It has its flaws, but overall, it's an excellent game. Definitely worth playing on the Switch. But yeah, that's another one that I got in, and sadly, I didn't have it in front of me, so
I
I
was
forgot until just
actually
now.
a Kickstarter backer for them, and I got the Xbox One version with slipcase, and I got the exclusive Kane Hodder created skin, which is like a fiery Jason, which was super cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure if
So
they
for
included him with the Switch version or not.
so I will say that I haven't checked that one, but what they did say on the case itself is that all of the like retail release DLC content was included.
Hmm.
Because I think one of the questions was whether the Kickstarter ones were. I don't think they were. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But I don't think the Kickstarter skins were included. The other thing that's really cool is that for the Nintendo Switch release, it does come with a mini poster inside the case, and it's
Yeah.
exclusive to the Switch version.
So it'll be interesting to
I'm
see
not gonna lie,
too
I'm a little.
because there was a stretch goal on the Kickstarter which died. They never released a single player mode. They were supposed to, and that was part of their stretch goals. And I don't think they ever got to it because I think the original owner of the license of Friday the 13th changed their mind or something happened, and they weren't allowed
Mhm.
to continue with it. And so there was some
There is a single player version now.
yeah, so maybe they finished it for the Switch version. That's what I was thinking, because
Yeah. So yeah. So sorry, not to interrupt. So in the Switch version, there is an
interrupting
offline.
Poland.
I. Well, listen, there's so much information we got to give, and I'm raising my hand, but you just can't see it. So I gotta jump in. But yes, there is a single player campaign. So I'm just gonna really read super quick from our review, so people know because maybe I think a lot of people thought it was only gonna be online. So super quick, and you can read the whole review on jpswitchmania.com. When the game originally released a few years ago, Friday the 13th, the game was multiplayer only. While the game was really created to work best that way, and really it does, there was some outcry over the lack of single player options. The devs went to work fixing that and came up with two and a half solutions. The first is a bot mode, where you always play as Jason against up to 7 bot counselors, which is pretty fun and a good way to grind out some levels if you don't want to look like a noob online. They also introduced a challenge mode, which plays out like a creepier Assassin's Creed's mission. There are teenagers who aren't dead, and you have to make them dead without alerting anyone before you finish. Even if you alert them, you still have a chance to catch them before they get away, but it's easier if you're sneaky. There are optional objectives for you to reach that will reward you with customization points if you complete them, but challenge mode doesn't reward you with any experience points. Both modes are a lot of fun, if only because you can take the game at your own pace instead of having to deal with other players and their agendas. So, okay, so those are the two full ideas for a single player mode, but the half idea I mentioned is probably the coolest one. The game's virtual cabin is a really cool idea. It's like a museum for the creation of the game and history of the movies. You walk into the cabin and you can interact with various virtual props from the game, which will reveal a short text block containing either a snippet of history about the franchise or a fun anecdote from either the creation of the games or movies. It truly proves that this game was made by fans for fans, and that goes a long way in my book. I mean, I'm not the world's biggest horror fan, but I always admire the accomplishments of a truly determined fan base. And just one little tidbit that I didn't know about, and I mentioned it when I posted the review, and somebody corrected me, and then I corrected them. But they said, fun fact for movie buffs: the sound is ki 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 ma ma ma, not the ch 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 ah 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 I hear most people using.
Yeah,
Learn that in the virtual cabin. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. That's
So
classic. So it really they didn't add a because it was supposed to be like a story
right,
mode, but
right. It's not a true story.
at least they added single player to it, which is cool.
Yeah. So we gave this an 8.5 out of 10, and I just want to thank Jay Bushwords, John B, our reviewer, for the excellent review on this. I highly recommend reading it. I was excited to read it because I gave the game to him, so I didn't even get to play it yet, and it made me just wish that he could just bring it back already so I could try it out.
And definitely should thank the getting the review copy from.
Oh yes, I would absolutely like to thank Wanacott Communications for providing us with the review copy. Thanks to Black Tower Studios, Ilphonic, and Gun Media for making the game and publishing it.
Yeah.
So thanks to all of them for bringing Friday the 13th to the Switch.
Exactly. Now we got it on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we jump into news?
Yes, let's do that.
So the first one that I wanted to mention is an interesting one, and it's kind of where I see gaming going, just like we saw with the Wii. Xbox did a patent for something called the Xbox Cloud, and it's some weird, interesting news that's comparing it to the Switch. It's essentially a controller that connects or clips on a screen, and basically it's like probably going to be able to stream games or something. Everybody's assuming it's going to clip onto a phone, but basically somebody did like some fancy renders. It wasn't even Xbox. Xbox did the general patent pictures, and the renders added little clips to it and everything. But basically, it's two controllers that attach to a screen, aka the Switch. And Microsoft and Sony, like 2 generations ago, created the PlayStation Move, and then Xbox created the whole camera and the Kinect. So which was based off the Wii's momentum that it had. So they can't obviously just completely copy Nintendo with their patents, but they patented a different thing. So it'll be interesting to see if it's just literally controllers for a phone. It's going to be kind of janky, but the Xbox Cloud is literally Microsoft streaming their games to screens with internet. So essentially, you'd be pulling the game data on a server remotely, which then streams the content in near real time to any device. So essentially, you could be playing your phone with the latest Xbox game live. Yeah, so having those controllers.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it would be super interesting. I'm not sure what the size of the controllers would be because cell phones are all different sizes and shapes. So that's kind of an interesting gimmick where if they're going to just do a phone thing, it may not be the same experience for everyone, which the Switch is an experience. What do you think when people compare that to the Switch, though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, curious to learn a little bit more about, how it's going to work, what it's going to do, what it's
Mhm.
going to be like when it comes out. But yeah, the first thing I thought, and I think everyone saw it, is like, huh, this looks like a Switch.
Well, to me, it's them trying to get their unique way into the Switch community without understanding what the Switch is doing.
Yeah.
Because to me, the Switch is its own console that has its own architecture, its own style. So when you get a game that's ported like Doom, the creators will port it so it runs efficiently on the tech.
Hmm.
So you got a unique experience, and then you got all these, and you got the Nintendo aspect, the Nintendo factor, on top of
Hmm.
that, plus the Nintendo nostalgia, which means that game developers want to release games on their system. It was ironic. I was
Hmm.
playing Toe Jam and Earl with my wife like a few weeks ago, and she mentioned, "Man, I'd really love a Bubble Bobble." What was announced today? Bubble Bobble 4
Bubble
player.
Bobble 4 Friends.
Yeah, Bubble Bobble 4
Ex
friends.
exclusively for the Switch.
So I just tagged my wife on it on Facebook. I'm like, look, you talked about it, and it's like they always listen to us on our damn phone.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned like pizza, and then all of a sudden there's pizza ads on your phone. You mentioned Bubble Bobble, and all of a sudden Bubble Bobble 4 gets announced for the Switch. Like, they're listening. They're listening to us. But yeah, so like honestly, like the Xbox Cloud, I don't think they get it. Because there's not gonna be there's not gonna be unique games for it. It's gonna be the moving into the future where there's only streaming and cloud, and you don't own your content, and like to me that's janky. We'll see if it's cheap. It'd probably be worth just picking up. But like, you know what I mean? They're just controller clips. So, but it definitely made it look like a Switch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um, so the next one, definitely JP knows about it. What do you think about the $75 upgrade from GameStop? Taking your old Switch.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
I'm
I
tempted.
mean,
I am very tempted
yeah,
because I'm like, man, I know the benefits. I could take
hmm
it. Would they take my Switch that's all gangly and janky from my daughter slobbering on it playing Minecraft and my
Does it work?
modified
Does it turn on?
it turns on it, but I did switch out the back piece because the back piece had like chips in it because of the plastic, but
Uh,
I switched it out to a clear one, which is super hardcore and awesome.
they probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of breaks the warranty, right? When you modify a system in any way. So that, I mean,
I
I
didn't
would say
remove any
probably depending on
stickers.
who. No, I mean, I would say if it's someone who's not familiar with what the back looks like and doesn't pay too much attention, yeah, you may be fine. Otherwise, you may run into an issue. But overall, I think it's a great deal because, as you mentioned first on I think it was last week's episode
Hmm.
or even the week before, and then also there's been videos out now comparing the original Switch model to the new one. And like you said, it was not just the battery life that changed. It was actually the processor, the light output, the screen. I mean, little bits of changes. Even the Joy-Cons had slightly sturdier, different hardware inside to the point where, listen, $75, why not? I mean, I think that's a good deal to be able to upgrade, right? You don't have to spend $300 if it was something you were thinking about. The only thing, and maybe you can answer this, is can you transfer your saved data after you trade it in? So, like, can you store it somewhere and then upload it, or would you have to do everything right there in the store?
I don't know because obviously you have the cloud backup
Right.
for Switch Online users, so I know you can easily transfer stuff, but I don't. I think you have to do it after when you have both systems on.
So if that's the
So
case, I'm just wondering how that works, and are they willing to be like, okay, stand to the side, do what you gotta do, and then give us back, the original one?
they should, because there's no way in
Yeah.
hell I'm losing all my progress.
Right.
Like, but I mean, that would be my only worry too. Is that of course I had some of the little plastic that goes over the vent. Those have chipped off over years.
hmm
So I mean, I kind of like my old gangly Switch, but
If I had two of the regular editions, I would have probably traded in now to get the upgraded one because I do want, I mean, obviously I want the box because it's different and I would like the updated version. Although, to be honest, I'm getting the Dragon Quest one and the Disney Tsum Tsum, and that both are the newer version ones. But in terms of a US release, I would have liked to get this one. Um,
yeah.
but I
I
only
might get
have
the
one.
Dragon Quest one.
Yeah, I mean, I only have the one of the regular editions, and then I have like the Diablo one. I have the Pokemon one, the Smash Brothers one. Although I don't think the Smash had a different backing. I have to check. But either way, I don't think I can take part in this, but I think it's a great promotion for people who are tempted to upgrade. $75 to me is just like that's really not a lot to get, a brand new Switch.
Man,
So
I'm just lowly over here with my one Switch at the
yeah, I'm sorry.
house.
But no, I think that's a good promotion that they're doing right now.
Yeah. So the other piece that I have that's extremely newsworthy,
Yes.
JP and I are going to do the first ever
What?
Switchmania Playcast panel at Retro World Expo.
We
So
are?
it's out in Hartford, Connecticut at the end of September, which is
Yes.
right when the Switch Collector will be live.
Weird
Um,
timing.
we were on a
Hmm.
panel together at Midwest Gaming Classic, but that was still for my previous podcast, VGBS, which was still alive at the time. Right now we're at a pause, a huge pause for the Kyle. Like we don't ever record like our VGBS stuff, but
Hi, Kyle.
hi Kyle, hi Kyle. Oh, Kyle got into a complete like not writer the creator slump.
Hmm.
But I mean the thing is that it's super fun. But that was our panel in Midwest Gaming Classic where we talked Switch for the first time. This will be the first ever Switchmania Playcast, and we're definitely going to be doing a giveaway. I am at least making a custom item for it. Like it may be something that I make a few of for the actual Kickstarter, but this will be one of the first times to get it. JP knows he hasn't seen a picture of it because I'm a jerk, but he knows that I finished the Switch Collector case,
Hmm.
the promo case. That is done both outside and inside of the slipcase. It looks
Oh.
awesome. I have secondary artwork, so you can reverse it if you want. So then
When do I
technically,
get to see this?
sometime, JP,
Oh,
sometime.
thanks. Thanks.
I need to figure out how to print them, and then I will
I
send
know.
pictures. Because the thing is, I got all the HD graphics done yesterday while I was just messing around. And then what I want to do is figure out how to print them. I know it's 40 glossy paper stock or whatever, but I might just go to a Kinko's or a UPS store or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's definitely gonna be there. But I'm thinking of making a custom item. I don't know what. We had
Hmm.
some feedback on the Switch treasure box,
Hmm.
the game box. We had one. I read it and like when I read it, it was like hipster voice because they were like, "Oh, well, it's got this clump there and this clump there," and I was like, "I painted this for myself, people." Like it wasn't for the Switch collector. Like this is literally for me to put my games in, and then we're like, "This will be really cool for backers." Um,
Hmm.
so I'm probably gonna do another one in red because I want to show off both colors.
Hmm.
So I'll probably do that, and maybe that's a good item to bring
I think that'd be a great item to bring.
for a giveaway. Because I'm gonna use also the logos from the Switch collector, the ones that
Nice.
our Erica Emily made.
Erica. Hi,
Emily,
Erica.
Emily, Emily. That's
Oh
forever
boy.
gonna be our inside joke. Like even she doesn't get. She probably does now. She listens to the cast, but
Yes.
yeah, Erica's like. I want to use her art though on as much as possible because I love the logo she did.
Oh
Um,
yeah. She is amazing.
yeah, so that's part of it, and it's allusion to our Retro World Expo panel. I know you were talking about some craziness with that though. I don't know if
With
you
the
want to.
panel?
I don't know if you want to reveal the
You mean you
giveaway.
mean I mean a possible giveaway for our panel? Sure. I
Yeah,
As
like
you know, I kind of like these giveaways and I'm always happy to run them
this is
because my
dangerous.
my goal is a Switch in every hand and why change it up with our first ever live Switchmania Playcast panel? Why not give away a Nintendo Switch system?
That would
And
be
this could be for
ridiculous.
people attending. This could be for people listening, watching,
So
and
let me say right there, we are going to try our damnedest to live stream it. So that way,
Yes.
everybody, all the listeners, and everybody that JP tweets it out to has the opportunity to listen, because we're going to do a drawing like either probably after the panel
Yes.
live back at my table, because the panels, the last time I did one there, I did one, it was with Mike Levy, who's Mike Tendo, Rewind Mike, 2 mics, and Games 31. And afterward, like, we were running out of time, and then we had to,
Hmm.
I think it was the Game Chasers were on after us or something, so we had to like move out. And so we moved out, but like, we'll do it back at the table. So those that come to the panel will go with us, and those that are, we'll still have the live stream going. And we'll do the drawing. We'll have to figure out quickly how to count all the numbers, and then we'll give everybody a random number, do a random generator, and give it. And if it's somebody there live, they'll get it live
Hmm.
at the convention. If it ends up being somebody listening online, they'll get it mailed to them.
Yes, exactly. And
And
who knows?
and if we
Maybe
don't
we'll
have it
throw in
on
a
us, they
game
might
or
get it.
two.
Yeah, I mean, they might have it get it mailed to them either way, because I don't know if JP's gonna bring a Switch console with him. It might just be a mail deal.
So the way that I run the contest normally with, well, actually always with Destiny FOMO. Hi, Destiny.
Hey.
We actually don't have the systems in hand. We order them right from Amazon or Best Buy because we give the winner the choice of the neon or the gray one. So that's why we don't buy them, pre contest. So most likely what we'll do is whoever the winner is, we'll give them the choice. And thankfully, now that the new and improved Switches are out, you'll be getting one of those, and you can choose the Joy-Con color. So yay!
Or even
But
the
if we do
Switch
give
Lite.
September 20th, yes, you know what? Why not? If you want to go for the Switch Lite, we will give you that option as well. And as long as your color is in stock, we'll order it. So I think that's a very good choice because you never know which kind of
And
model they want.
I
But
do
I will
think
say this.
I hold on. I do think that mentioning Destiny FOMO, you should. I think she's pretty far away, but you should put out an invite if she wants to come out to Retro World Expo. We would
Good news. As of right now,
absolutely,
there are plans for Destiny to come.
because I would
Uh,
absolutely put out the invite, and she can join us on our panel.
I think that would be awesome. I'm actually going to see Destiny this weekend, so I will be reinforcing and politely suggesting that she definitely comes.
And it was funny. JP was talking with me. He's like, "Yeah, I think the wife and I are gonna come out for a day." I'm like, "You're gonna be coming as a guest, JP. You have to come hang out and talk with the fans." He's like,
So the next,
"Oh." He's like, "Oh." It was like
so
hilarious.
the next thing I said was, "Hey, wifey, I think I'm going by myself. You got to watch the
Oh,
kids." No,
yeah,
I'm
because
kidding. We are going to try to have her come as well. Mrs. JP Switchmania has to come. So yeah, this is going to be exciting. I went to Retro World Expo 2 years ago, I want to say. I don't think I went to it last year. I went to it 2 years ago. I absolutely loved it. I thought the venue was great. I thought it was just well organized. I actually came to support Video Games Monthly, so I was with them at their table and I walked around and buying lots of retro games. But this is my first time coming on this will be my second panel ever again with you, and I'm so happy now that it's the Switchmania Playcast panel. And I love that it's right during the Kickstarter campaign. I
oh,
think that's so exciting.
it's super
I
fun to do
think,
that, and like literally, it
yeah,
will be like if you've like it might be part of the contest if you're supporting the Switch collector or something too, which would be a classic. And
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
and the thing is, of course, I need people to share room with, so.
Oh, yes.
Because that's an
Split
expensive
that cost,
room.
right?
It's
You,
literally
you just
like,
need me.
oh, I need lots of people because it was an expensive room. But here's the irony: is I got it. I got the one that's in conjunction with the convention. So just like at Moa's Gaming Classic, it's within a walk, like
Oh, that's good.
right there. But I actually got it. I think it was $8 cheaper because of my main job. So
Nice.
like it was like they had their convention one that was 135 and mine was like
Hmm.
128.
Hmm.
So, but I had to get an extra night because of flights and things.
Yeah, so I am definitely going to try and see if my parents will watch our kids for the first time overnight. We've
Cool.
never had that done before with both of the kids. Our 3.5-year-old, it's a lot easier because he can go to bed, no problem. Our youngest one kind of still sleeps with us, sleeps in the crib, so we've never gone away overnight. But we're gonna see, we're gonna try because I really want Shannon to come, and I'm obviously going to be coming out for the weekend. I just think it'd be fun overall with her there, with the campaign, with Destiny, with you. I think it's just going to be a complete blast. And for me, it's going to be so different even from April when I was on the panel because I've never done a playcast before. I was never on a panel before. And, right now we're at 15 episodes. By the time that live playcast goes, it's going to be what, like in our
Close to
like close
20.
to our 20th episode.
Close to
Yeah.
20.
So,
Maybe
I mean,
over.
it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm super excited. I hope you can tell that I'm super excited. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to talk more about the Switch and I can't wait to talk with people live in person, right? I mean, it's fun doing this.
I do have to warn you that in the
Yes.
future, with future iterations of panels, like my daughter's gonna have to start coming with me because she's been like making art and doing cool stuff, and she's so disappointed that she couldn't go with me to
Oh,
game on. So I was like, man, I have to work that in. So
well, you know what? If we
yeah.
do this long enough, all of our kids will be on the panel with
And
us.
that's what I'm saying is like they won't be on the panel, but they'll at least be at the conventions. Like I mean, in the past I brought my daughter with like Midwest Gaming Classic like 4 years ago when she was like 3, and she goes swimming and
Hmm.
stuff, which was awesome. So I mean, it's always a family event, and
Hmm.
I mean, I mean the wives could go and hang out. My wife plays games too, but they can go hang out with and do other
Well,
things other than nerd conventions that I love.
like, listen, I have no idea like what triggered Shanna to finally like join Twitter, become active, but I love the fact that she's now doing these tweet-sized reviews if you've seen them, and
Yeah, it's
it's
super
it's
cool.
it's gotten her to play the Switch on a regular basis, it's gotten her to try games and literally open up games that I've had sealed that finally someone in this house is enjoying, and I love the fact that like the Switch has been out since March 3rd, 2017. We're now in August 2019, and she's finally like getting to experience like all the joy that I've been having with the Switch, with the Switch core community, with Nintendo Switch, like just people online in general. And she's having fun with it, and she's doing her own thing, which I think is great. And I think now's the perfect time for her to join in the conventions. And it's just like, you're part of it now.
It's super cool that she's supporting now by her own way
Yeah.
of playing it. My wife hasn't gotten into the Switch at all. She's complete PS4. But she did play
Oh,
Toe Jam and Earl with me and loved it.
all right,
So
that counts.
yeah. So I mean, but she's not playing on her own or anything. But it's probably because my daughter's playing it nonstop. So, but yeah, it's
Nice.
super cool. I'm looking forward to the panel, and the thing is that like I as an author, I get invited everywhere, which is really awesome and humbling and cool. And now we'll be able to use that as well because like podcasters and that stuff get invited too. So it's we're gonna be hitting like all of the sides,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be super cool. And the convention scene's just growing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and I told Shannon, I said like my goal for 2020 is to do a lot more events like conventions like PAX East. I'm really trying to make it a mission to go to it. E3 next year, I want to go, whether it's press or just as a participant. Like I want to be part of those scenes. All these type of conventions that you've been going to, that we're going to be doing. Hopefully, a lot of more future panels. I want to be going to. Like I want to represent JP Switchmania more than just on social media. Like I want people
yeah.
to see my face and talk to me. And I love going to the Midwest Gaming Convention. I'm excited for Retro World, and I'm just super excited for all the future ones that are coming in the coming year.
I will have to say that I haven't went to any of the PAXs or E3 or anything because like getting a table at those places because they're industry, it's like thousands
Hmm.
of dollars, so it's not even feasible for me as a small time publisher. But like just going as an attendee would be cool, but I'm already going
Yeah,
to all the retro ones. So
right.
unless I'm living out there and I can drive, like it's gonna be a no go. Cause like PAX West is happening soon,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
no,
up in
I know.
Seattle, and it's like
And
I got buddies up there, so I mean it'd be cool. But
I think the thing that gets to me the most is like now doing the reviews and building relationships and just friendships with the different publishers and developers. All the emails are going out now. All the messages like, "Hey, am I going to see you at PAX? Are we going to get a chance to hang out? Do you want to speak, with us about the upcoming games?" And I'm just like, I'm like biting my tongue, and I'm just like, "Oh my God!" Like I wish or biting my lip. I guess that's the right way. I just I can't go to it, and it's just like what a great opportunity to finally meet all these people face to face that I've been emailing,
soon,
talking with. And PAX East, I'm hoping, is going to be that first opportunity that I'll finally get to do that as JP Switchmania, because the past year has all been online through email, through chat, and I'm really hoping PAX East is going to kind of be that first one where it's like, hey, this is JP. Like, I can't believe I'm finally meeting you. We've been talking forever, and that to me is just really exciting to kind of be part of the industry in that way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can get some Switchmania Playcast press passes
Yes,
or something. Like, you never know.
that would be awesome.
I mean, because I got a business too, so it's like
Yes,
both represent
absolutely.
our businesses and the Playcast. Maybe they'll let us do a panel. Some of them have panels. Um, you never
Yeah.
know because
No, you never know.
all I'll do is ask the people like, hey,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, that's pretty good for news. Was there anything else that's super newsworthy? I think that covers a lot of it.
You covered that. You covered the $75 trade-in with my item, and that was just to say that there
Yeah.
was a soft release of the new Nintendo Switches coming into stores. But this week is the first week that I've actually seen them available to buy online. So I saw them at Best
Mm-hmm.
Buy online, Amazon online. So for anyone that's been looking for them and haven't been able to go to a store, they should now be fairly easy to order online. So that was my news thing, and then my
Makes
other
sense.
items were going to be in our next section.
Yeah. So got over in the updates. Because for the updates, I want to talk about a bit about Game On because Game On was crazy. Like it literally was. It was
It looked
insane.
great.
Oh yeah. Like so, it started off. We did right off the bat. I flew in on Thursday. I flew in a
Hmm.
day early. Day zero ended up going with my buddy Scott the Scammer over on he's actually been on Games 31's channel a few times. He's an Xbox collector, but he came and picked me up, which was super cool of him. And right when we go in the lobby of the haunted hotel, where apparently somebody jumped off the seventh floor in 1920 and killed themselves.
Oh, well.
Crazy haunted hotel. I meet Rewind by Designs in there. Rewind by Design's the guy who did the awesome DuckTales arcade cabinet, the Legend of Zelda arcade cabinet, the ones that look professionally done.
Hmm.
And he was just like happened to be in there, and I remembered him from, you know, Portland Retro Gaming Expo and from last year Game On, and we just chatted a little bit. Really cool dude, and he joined us. We went next door to an Irish pub, and we were sitting there having. I was having like $6 drinks or whatever because I don't normally drink, but I did there. And we're having drinks, and I just shoot a couple messages to buddies and to Nerdy Nick and Riggs is like, oh yeah, we're right down the road. So
Hmm.
Riggs showed up
That's awesome.
with Nerdy Nick and Jay and 8-Bit Eric, like Jay from the Game Changers, 8-Bit Eric, Pete,
Oh my God.
N64 gamer Pete. And we're just over
I
there
miss all the fun.
all you know, just hanging out on Thursday the day before, having drinks. Hilarity ensued, of course. Um, I asked 8-Bit Eric if he saw your tags, and he said he does, and he ignores tags. I was like, I have to tell JP to stop tagging you.
I only tagged them once. Now it's to see if you want to play Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it was something like he's like, oh yeah, I saw that. He's
Oh,
like, yeah, I don't like tags.
oh, okay.
He's
No
like
more tags.
Yeah, you like tagged him in RGT or something, but yeah, so he's seen him. He just doesn't respond to that. I just asked him,
Hmm.
and like he's like a guy I never really got to hang out with at all. He's completely like he is on his videos. He's sarcastic and funny, like complete. So that was Thursday though. Friday then didn't have any kind of hangover or anything, which was good. But Friday went and set up early at the convention, and seeing all the people I know, and as JP knows from Midwest Gaming Classic, like I seemingly know everybody, which is hilarious.
Hmm.
I've been to so many conventions that like everybody's there, even people that like just sell games that like they're all really cool, and like we all hang out and stuff. Um, did the panel with Nerdy Nick. Nerdy Nick was dressed like Mike Hagar from Final Fight,
Hmm.
and he's a big buff dude, like lifter. So he looks like Mike Hagar from Final Fight with the mustache, everything. And at the beginning of the panel, which I recorded and haven't uploaded yet, he did a speech that Mike Hagar from Final Fight did at the beginning and pertained it to like collecting for the Switch. And we talked about collecting on the Switch and basically modern retro. It
Hmm.
was an interactive panel where people were constantly asking questions and participating. Those are my favorite type of panels.
Hmm.
We had about 20 or 30 people there. We were the very first one right when they opened the door on Friday. On a Friday at like 1:30. They opened the door at 1 o'clock. And we had a lot of participation. It was super cool. A lot of listeners there too that were listening to the Switchmania Playcast, which is super cool. And thanks to everybody for listening and attending. So that panel was awesome. And the first day with books, so I shipped out a bunch of books to a Scott Scammer. I'm gonna call him Scott Scammer the whole time, by the way. But I shipped out books to him, and so throughout the weekend, I sold everything I shipped to him, which was ridiculous. It was awesome. Buddy Steve DeLuca, who runs the Tetris World Championships and designed the Goofy Foot backward Nintendo controller, he brought books from California that I had. He had them in his garage. So I had bonus books.
Oh, wow.
And I sold all those Super Nintendo ones, and I had some bonus compendiums and oddities. So I have a lot of books, people. But it was super cool. And I was able to pay for my expenses the first night, which was good. Friday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because last year I ended up I had to fly back on Sunday, and it cost me almost $1,000 in expenses just to get there and back. This year was much more affordable. Then Saturday was insane, literally 9 or 10 all the way till 7 at night.
Oh my god.
The first night went till 9, by the way. That was crazy. But yeah, I went really late, and then afterward went to Friday night. Belay that Friday night, I went with Nerdy Nick to John Hancock's panel. Then we went with John Hancock and ate at the Tilted Kilt. So we had a big gaming conversation, and also there was Glitch Media and Saru Maru and Chris Tang, which I'll talk about them from Sunday night. But they were also there, but we had 2 big tables, so it was 2 different groups, which I hate when a restaurant does that, because we couldn't have a giant big conversation. But we had some people from his panel there, and then some people from Nick and I's panel there, and it was super cool. We were just going around talking about our favorite games, most hated consoles, or disappointing consoles, stuff like that. It was really cool. So then Saturday night, Saturday after the convention was over, go back to Saturday, went and closed down the table, went over and got some food, and then watched Super Madness play. Caught the tail end of Sergio Alessandro's Sergio and Holograms, which is awesome. And then watched Super Madness, which they rock out all the time. I always chat with their drummer, Nico, online. He's a really cool dude. And then, so after that, we maneuvered to my buddy Ryan, who runs a 10-year-old podcast, by the way. Super cool podcast. Wow. But we went and maneuvered and went to Cobra Arcade Bar because we knew Master Daniel Pacino was going to be there, and he played Liu Kang. Or no, wrong. He played Johnny Cage. I said that all weekend. Liu Kang. He played Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero on the original Mortal Kombat. He's on the side of the arcade cabinet. So he was there, and also a guy named Paul Niemeyer. He is the guy who designed the dragon art. So, yeah, legendary artist.
My gosh.
He's done Satan's Hollow. He's done art for Men in Black. He's done art for tons and tons of art. Got to hang out with him, too. He also said he would be honored to do a future book cover. So, whether that be Switch Collector Volume 2 or Culture Chronicles, that might be the year that Mortal Kombat was released in 92, that I have coming up. It'd be super cool to get some art from a legendary artist. That's where I meet all these awesome people, is at conventions, and we use indie artists and we use legendary artists combination when I do my book releases. So but yeah, meeting him was super fun. And we also hung out with Tim Kitzrow. Tim Kitzrow is
nice.
NBA Jam, Boom Shakalaka, and
Boom Shakalaka,
Mutant Football League. And he definitely did not have a copy of the Switch game with him because I didn't bring one. I thought he'd have one. Yeah,
I'm bringing one next time so he could sign it.
Yeah, because I was going to have him sign it. I'm like, dude, I'd buy it from you. He's like, oh, that's good to know. Maybe I'll bring it next time. Yeah, so that was super, super cool. Also on Saturday before that, I met up with Moto's Glass, and he actually unveiled his Switch collector pint glass that he did. It's a red pint glass with white Switch collector logo, and it looks amazing. I sent a picture to JP.
Yeah, that you actually let me see. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, it's so cool. I'm probably gonna use that picture with Moto actually holding it because I think that's like hilarious.
Awesome.
And personal. But that's gonna have to be another one. The glasses themselves cost $30, so just to buy. And so that's what I'm gonna put as the price for it on the actual Kickstarter, because I don't upcharge typically. I may charge whatever he costs to ship. So if it costs $10 to ship, I might charge $40. So that way, because he's gonna ship it to the people. So that way, if it's like $30 for the glass, $10 to ship, it'll be $40, and you get it as soon as he makes them. He also did a Hagen's Alley Entertainment one with my new logo, which I did red and white too. That one's cool too. Didn't send JP that picture.
No, you did not. I'm
yeah,
always left out.
Saturday was cool. The other thing was there was a guy that I reached out to JP about Evo Retro, and so I talked with them on Saturday. Well, they came out with us to the bar on Saturday, and so one of the guys from Canada, he had his buddy come out from France to the convention. And those dudes were like, all right, we're going to buy you a drink. And they bought us 5 Manhattans. Not like 1. Like 5. And I'm like, holy cow, these guys were crazy. They were hilarious dudes. And that's the thing. So, like, they put out a bunch of Switch accessories. And they like doing, like, blind box, like Switch-related accessories. And they're doing one for the Switch Lite, which they're going to have, like, a blind box of Switch Lite accessories. I know JP's done a review for sure on JP Switchmania.
Oh, not just one. They were kind enough. I thought they were going to send us just one controller. They sent us, I think, nearly their entire lineup of Switch accessories. They sent us their deluxe box. They sent us their They sent us their deluxe box of GameCube controllers with the adapter. They sent us carrying cases. They sent us everything, and we reviewed them all on the site. So we have product reviews aside from game reviews, and it's a different section on the JP Switchmania website, so you could check them all out. Great quality products, really reasonable prices. A lot of them can be purchased directly from their website and also even on Amazon. And just a great like family kind of company. I mean, it's just really down to earth people, like you said. Like I got to talk to them through email and through chat, and I just think they're a great group of guys.
Well, and now I've gotten to have drinks with them, which they're
you one up me.
They're bros. I will say that. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? If they're one of us, they're one of us. They're one of the people. Like they're completely passionate about what they're doing and putting out cool stuff. JP had a great idea because, like, man, if they could do custom Switch collector stuff, maybe we can get some products, like get their products out there and have them associated. So I need to reach out to them for sure. Like I have their business card and you have their contact info, so we definitely got to hit them up. So then Sunday was I was hungover as hell because we closed down Cobra Arcade Bar, and I was like hungover, and then Steve and Chris Tang come over and go, "Do you want to do a thing?" So, little do a lot of people know that I did the commentary for the Classic Tetris World Championships in 2016. The Boom Tetris for Jeff memes, the whole viral video was when I was doing color commentary with Chris Tang. Like, I was insane, saying crazy stuff. I was going through an allergic reaction at the time, so I was like saying insane
I remember
things. So last Sunday was the first time since 2016 that Chris Tang and I did commentary together. And we did it for the Desert Qualifier for the Classic Tetris World Championships. And Boom Tetris for Jeff won. Like he ended up winning it. So we took a picture afterward. It was hilarious. And so Chris Tang and I did some awesome commentary. And CTWC is now on ESPN2. So
nice.
There's a chance that they're going to put my classic 2016 commentary on ESPN in the future. And maybe these qualifiers too, because it was super fun to do. Like Chris and I have an awesome chemistry when we're doing commentary, and it's pretty crazy. I don't think I was on my A game because I was hungover as hell, but I also, because of that, I was not at my table like the entire day, so I made like 0 book sales. But as I mentioned, I was already through everything I shipped out to Scott the Scammer, so like literally it was just all bonus stuff. So like, and I still had people coming and like, oh my god, I was looking for you all day. It's like, where's Wittenhagen is what I was calling it. Can't find me. And then after the convention though, so the convention closed up about 5 p.m. that day. I flew out on Monday because it was $400 cheaper for my flight, and I just went and had dinner at Tum Yum, which was a Thai restaurant with Saru Mario and Jesse, which was the first time I got to hang out with those guys because like I said on Friday, they separated our tables, so I didn't even get to hang out with the guys really. So went with them, went with a couple of the Collector Vision guys and Steve and his family, and we had some awesome Thai food. Afterward, they're like, hey, let's just go and hang out. So we went back over to Saru's place and hung out, and they got snacks and picked up Joel from Glitchmania, which Glitchmania is a pretty big YouTube channel. And so we live streamed, which you retweeted, JP.
I did.
And so we were talking TurboGrafx 16, Ease Book 1 and 2, TurboGrafx Mini. I guess the Happy Console Gamer was also on our stream chatting with us because we were talking Turbo and it got him excited. So it was a pretty crazy live stream, like where you had Chris Tang, Joel, myself, Saru Mario, and then Ben from Collector Vision showed up like halfway through, and we were just talking retro game stories and how we got into the Turbo and like all that craziness. Like it was super cool. And we didn't even intro ourselves, and we just talked about it at the end. But
that's awesome.
It was really fun, and that was an awesome way to end an amazing convention. And that's why like and like the thing is that it was like people were saying, oh, I don't think there's as many games or not, but there was high quality stuff there, like game wise. And like people were picking up stuff. Like I said, Limited Run Games was there. They had almost all of their Switch Collector's Editions there. Like there was multiple copies of Curse of the Moon. There was like tons of stuff. So I was gonna put out an APB, but like there was too much.
Oh yeah, no, I hear you.
They bring it to every convention. So anybody who goes to a convention that Limited Run Games is at, they have their items, their limited items. Like I was tempted. I'm like, man, I don't have Shantae Windjammers. I don't have any of those collector's items, and they're all there, and they're all at the retail prices without shipping. So I was
you can't beat that.
I was like, man, but I also don't double or triple dip. But either way though, like I think the next time I'm going to a convention, like we're gonna have to put out a tweet and go, hey, what are y'all looking for? And then
absolutely,
like
that's what Switch Core is all about. We like to help collectors find games at not scalper prices.
And so I hadn't gotten any writing done in the book, but I have been designing the case. I also on Sunday met up with Steve, which is the limited slipcase box guy. He does all the wooden boxes that I've released over the years. Finally got to meet him for the first time. He got to watch me do commentary, which was funny. And I'm like, hey, what's up? He brought my complete Virtual Boy slipcase because I did he brought one copy because he's making multiple ones, but he brought one because he was local to Phoenix. And so now I'm working on outlining everything on the complete Virtual Boy cover in my own way. I do it all in black, and then I'm going to stain it red, so that way people can see what the red stained cover looks like. And I'll take some pictures so that way I can put maybe a link on the Kickstarter so you can see what a previous one looks like. So people will be able to choose if they want to just have the book cover, if they want me to outline it, and if they want it stained red like Switch. So there'll be multiple options for the Switch book, which is awesome. What else did we made a bunch of, we had a bunch of stuff happen. What else happened with the Switch book over the last week?
You
did your post. You did Switch Saturdays, so it's the Switch Collector Saturdays.
Yes, and I do enjoy that. So we showed off the treasure chest box. That was
Yeah.
the focus for this past Saturday, and then I'm looking forward to
And
sharing. I
yes,
don't even know
the
what we're going to share
high-res
yet, so it's going to be
pictures that we
exciting.
shared were from my personal one, not one that's gonna be
Yes,
like
yes.
like. And the thing is though, I'm staining and glossing these by hand, so there's gonna be imperfections. It's part of the artist in me is that I don't mind it not being factory perfect. It's not going to be. It's a handmade item made by the author. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Like I'm gonna obviously take off all the hinges and stuff before I paint it because I didn't do that for my own because I'm like, yeah, I just think it'll look cool with the stain marks on it. Just makes it look rustic.
Hmm.
But I'll take those off for that. But like, yeah, it's definitely an awesome item. A lot of people were confused that the tier you get the book. So we'll make sure when we talk about future items, they'll be like, hey, you
Yes.
get it, you get the book. So the tier is like it is because it's the item plus book plus other amenities. So like the book will have all the different stretch goals
Hmm.
and yeah, I also have my buddy Anthony, who I met in California. He's working on the Kickstarter video now as we speak. Um,
Oh,
it's
I'm very excited for that.
pretty expensive because he's a professional videographer. He's a professional video editor. He did the videos for the Game Chasers, like their intro. He did the videos for the Gaming Historian as well, and the Retroware TVs, the Video Game Years, that TV show. So like he's done all of that. And I had ended up being at a booth next to him in California and talked with him, and dude's super passionate. He's awesome. And
Hmm.
I was like, when I do, I will. It's like I will absolutely have you do a video for when I'm having a big Kickstarter come out. I would say that the Switch Collector is one that I want to be big at least.
Oh, I
I want it to be big.
I hope it's big. I mean, oh my God. I keep thinking about it. I mean, I think I've already told you this, but I told my dad today, I told Shannon, I'm like, I'm taking off on September 10th because I definitely would not be able to concentrate when this goes live. And I just know that I would just be staring at the screen all day. I'd be tweeting about it. I'd want to be talking with people who have any questions or just excited about it, people who are backing it. I mean, I'm just so excited. I mean, I use the word excited in everything, but I'm just so excited for this. And, I'm a part of it, but even if I wasn't, I'm so excited for this because it's the first book of its kind, and it's the first time that we're finally going to start documenting everything about, nearly everything about the Switch in order. And, people don't realize it now, and they probably won't realize it till year like 4 or 5. But capturing it all now is going to be so crucial, and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
so helpful for just collectors. And because yeah, we're in year 3 right now, and there's been a lot of games that have come out, but people, we've seen some comments like, oh, you're doing a book right now while the Switch is still going on. It's like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, year 1 is the slowest year that we're probably going to have for a very long time. And this is before limited publishers started entering the scene. This is really before like all the imports started going like just exploding with releases. I mean, it's so exciting. I mean, and I can clearly talk about this book for a long, long time. I'm just so excited about it.
Well, and that's the thing is like the hype is real for me, and it's funny because I listened to John Hancock at his convention saying that he wasn't going to jump on the Switch bandwagon because it's not really that passionate about collecting for it. And I mentioned to him like later on when we were eating, I'm like, I am 100% like all I really collect is the Switch and weird stuff. I collect the
Hmm.
Switch and then weird items and stuff that I could find. Like I got in a Steinax framed picture at Classic Game Fest. Like I got some weird stuff. But I exclusively collect the Switch basically, and it's my favorite thing. There was one awesome item that Gerard the Wizard Ruins Gaming, Gerard made for me,
Hmm.
and he made me a Turbo Express modded with an LED screen, rechargeable battery, and
Oof.
region mod.
What?
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's like the sexiest thing ever, and it's like perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so like I did that because I did a Nomad last year. Same
Hmm.
thing. Sega Nomad, screen
Oh my God.
modded, and because that way I can play my games on the go when I'm working on book reviews. Well, I plan on doing a Genesis and a TurboGrafx-16 book. I already have the Genesis book mapped out, but the Switch book is taking precedence because that's what I collect for. But like a Turbo book, like I told Saru, I'm like, you get me a if we can get a group of reviewers together for the Turbo book, like I can get that done faster than the Genesis book, and I can do it side saddle with whatever Switch books that we're working on. Because like literally, like I want to write about Turbo too, and writing in smaller, concise. Because people got to realize with the Switch Collector, we're doing comprehensive reviews. The Zelda Breath of the Wild is now 8 pages.
Oh my god!
Like I'm just saying, like there's definitely a double full page art, by the way. So that is a thing. So that adds to the 8 pages. There's a 2-page art. And any artist, and then we got to figure out how to accentuate it. But any artist that want their art featured, like submit it. Like it doesn't have to be a tier. Like we'll feature your art. Like I would love to feature fan art in any of my releases.
Oh, absolutely.
It's super cool. I love the passion behind it. And if we hit one of the stretch goals, and it's one that's not on the stretch goal page, like I want to do the saddle stitching, so that way, like we can literally lay it flat, and then all that artwork is like perfect.
And which tier is this at? Like not tier, but which stretch tier? Goal?
the book one.
I mean, what monetary amount? Would you have to hit?
I think it's on the second.
Okay.
The second tier.
It's
that's
doable.
It's not on the page. Yeah, it's not on the page. It's definitely 4 times the because it's gonna cost a lot to do thread sewn binding. But it's not on the current picture. It's if we get past that, I'll upload the next picture. So basically, I think it goes up to 30 on the current picture, and that's the most I've ever earned from a Kickstarter. So I didn't want to put any more than that. If we blow past that, which JP,
I know I'm super optimistic, and I mean that's just my nature.
And
yeah, I mean, I told my dad, I'm like, I told my dad, I'm like, listen, there are Kickstarters that go past their initial goal in hours, sometimes even minutes, and I'm like, I want that to be this book. Like I really hope the hype is real with the people that have been engaging with us and showing excitement. I mean, it all comes down to September 10th when it officially launches. But I mean, I'm so hyped for this book, and I really do think it's a book that a lot of people are going to appreciate and are looking forward to. I mean, even as myself as a collector and owning, all the games, a lot of the promotional pieces, I'm just excited to see them in book form. I'm excited to flip through them as the years go by and just go like, wow, I remember when this came out, when this item was announced, when this game was released. I mean, it's going to be so great to just capture all that. I mean, I honestly think anybody who is a Switch collector, I mean, this is a must own book for them, whether I'm a part of this or not.
Well, and my thing is that like our ultimate goal would be to blow past what a certain NES author wrote, because like there was one guy who sees everybody as a competitor, and all the rest of us authors are like, why? But he earns a lot just because of his following. And I'm like, man, if one of us normal authors, one of us passionate authors could like compete with this dude, it would be ridiculously cool. Now the thing is if we blow way past this, like my funds that I earn go into the project. So if we blow past this, like promises will be thrown out there to where we're going to work on trying to get games out or something. Like that's literally it. Because if we're able to earn enough money, like it's going to go as an investment to the Higgins Alley Entertainment to get to the publisher side. Because I already published books and I've published games, but like publishing for the Switch is not cheap, and that would be one of those where it would be a nice nest egg to start some kind of releases. And I don't know, I don't want to do anything limited though. I want to just do it for preservation, kind of what Limited Run's doing the limited thing. I just want to do cool stuff. I mean, I've had people hit me up online wanting to publish their games already, and I'm like, absolutely. But I know how much it costs. So this book series could also help, go toward that to the company too, which would be amazing. Like, who's to say? And in all reality, like, if it hits a certain threshold, we might just have that as a stretch goal. All right, y'all get to vote on a game, and we gotta reach out to the developer. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's one game that I've been wanting to see physically.
oh yeah.
I'm okay. There's a lot of games, but there's one that for some reason just stays in my mind, and I feel like it would be such a cool physical release. And even if you did like a collector's edition, it has a lot of potential. Alwa's Awakening.
Okay.
From Elden Pixels. It just has that nostalgia feel, and I think it's a fun game.
It's
I don't
weird
know.
that they haven't had a physical release because they released the soundtrack on NES cartridge.
Yes. I've asked them. I said like, oh, would you do a physical? And they're like, oh yeah, we'd like to, but obviously nothing came of it. But man, I would love it.
And that's the thing is like JP and I will connect with whomever, but the thing is that's all happenstance, and depending on how everything does, if everything does great, if everything, if we get to the funding goal, we can do a book print run, which is the goal. That's amazing, and I will be extremely happy regardless, because as long as somebody enjoys what I'm doing, I'll keep making books on it. And the outpour has been extremely positive. Like some of the most humbling experiences were like a son and his mom came to my table and they're like, oh, we were looking for you again this year. My son wants to get your book, and he came here specifically to get your book, and he got one of your books last year, and he's going to get one, and it was like his allowance. And I was like, oh, that is so cool. And then I had multiple serious collector conversations on the Switch and on retro games with younger generation.
That's awesome.
Like they're in high school, and there's others from college era. But I was like, holy cow! But they were knowledgeable. Like it wasn't like I was just pontificating on them. Like they were holding their own with where the collector scene's going and what they. I was like, holy cow! So we're in good hands when it comes to physical collecting, not going anywhere, because you got lots of passionate people. Regardless if they're young or old, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I see on Twitter alone, sometimes people put their ages in their profile or bio. I see a lot of 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I mean, I'm 34, so I can't say I'm old, but 20, early 20s even, and they're collecting and they're showing what they're getting and they're excited for these releases. And obviously, I'm primarily just talking about the Switch, but I think that's great. I mean, it's not just my generation that grew up when the NES came out. You know what I mean? It's the newer generation that is also enjoying the preservation of these games and seeing their releases and getting excited and just, all of that jazz. And yeah, I think that's great. I definitely think the Switch has just reinvigorated collecting all over again.
Absolutely. And
yeah,
I mean, everybody seems to be on the same Nintendo bandwagon. Even those that are hardcore Sony and Xbox have kind of realized the Switch is serious. So let's go to the next section, because I know JP wants to talk about some of the new stuff that's available.
Yeah, I'm eager, and it's a perfect segue.
There's a lot.
There is a lot, and today was a big announcement day. I'm telling you, Wednesdays are becoming Nintendo announcement days, and it wasn't even from Nintendo today. It was from a lot of limited publishers and publishers in general. So there was a lot of information. If you follow me on Twitter, I try and post every single thing, and I think I captured them all today. But if you're listening and you haven't been on Twitter, here's your first chance to hear about all the upcoming games coming out and that have been announced. And these are the big ones. So the first I wanted to start with was, we talked about it briefly, but Bubble Bobble for Friends is exclusively coming to the Nintendo Switch. It's by In Games. And what I want to stress is that there is a physical coming. A physical is coming to Europe on November 19th. It's coming to the U.S. in the first quarter of 2020, so it's going to come out a little bit later. But on top of that, they are working with Strictly Limited Games to bring out a collector's edition that will be exclusive to Strictly Limited Games. So there's no date on that one yet, but I imagine that it's going to be one of their upcoming pre-orders coming soon. So there's going to be multiple ways to buy this game, which I think is great. I think it's great to see Bubble Bobble return on the Switch in a
Bubble
new
bobble.
version.
Bubble
Bubble
bobble.
bubble,
Bubble
just
bobble.
for us.
I mean,
So-
literally listening to my wife talk in our house, and then they release a whole game on it. Like,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. And you know the screenshots, they put out a trailer today that you can find online. They have screenshots. It looks cool. It looks fun, and I'm glad that we're getting that. So that was just the first announcement. But then there's actually limited games that are going to be coming out this week for pre-order
Like
that just got announced.
tomorrow or
Yes.
the same day we're launching, because we're probably gonna launch this podcast.
Like I'll stay up
Probably.
if Jeffrey wants to send this to me tonight, I will stay up and post it so it's not late. But if not, hopefully you're following on Twitter, so by the time you hear this, you already know about them.
Early morning wake ups, JP. Unfortunately.
No, this is Switchland now. I mean, there's no sleep.
We're in the Switchland. We don't sweep
Okay.
here. We don't sweep
So
in
let
the
me-
Switchland in this weather.
So I'm gonna start with I Am 8-Bit. So if you remember, last year they opened up pre-orders for Gone Home, and just I think last month or 2 months ago, it finally released. So there was a little bit of a delay, but their first release came out. They just announced yesterday. So I'll be specific. They announced on Tuesday that 2 new games for the Switch are coming physically through them only. It's opening up pre-orders on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So you got to kind of calculate your time zone if you're not on the eastern side of the US. But the 2 games that they announced are Donut County and Goro Gora. So what's really cool is that each release, there's going to be 5,000 copies, which is essentially the minimum print run in the US for a game. Donut County is going to have a Trashopedia sticker collection, which is scratch and sniff, with the game. And it's going to be $34.99, sold exclusively through iam8bit.com. So it's their website. The second game is Goro Goa.
Donut County looks weird.
Yeah, it is 5,000 copies. It's going to have an innovative package design by the creator, Jason Roberts, including a Traditions of the Scattered Path booklet with brand new original artwork. Also goes live for pre-order tomorrow at the same, or Thursday at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time.
That looks completely hipster and like a painting. Looks really cool.
So that is not the only game going up for pre-order tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Not.
No, the other one.
More.
Yes. This is now from Super Rare Games. It's the 2 Tribes Collection. So it's actually 2 individual releases. So you can buy each one individually, or you can buy it in a cool collectible packaging with some additional bonuses. So let me quickly go over that.
George is a jerk making cool releases.
So the first one is the release number 19. It's the Toki Tori Collection from 2 Tribes. So this one is going to have 3 games on it: Toki Tori 1, Toki Tori 2 Plus, and an emulated version of the original Toki Tori on the Game Boy Advance, which I think is really cool. So it's going to come out to be about $32 US. It had to convert. And that comes out tomorrow or Thursday at 1 p.m. The second one from 2 Tribes is Super Rare Games' 20th release, and that's Rive Ultimate Edition. So this one actually has 3 games on it. It has Rive, Swap This, and an emulated version of an unreleased demo of 3 Tribes for the Game Boy Advance, which I think is really cool. I mean, that's something that you don't normally see as, unreleased content.
And
as
Rive's like an intense shooter. It's so cool.
I think it actually released for other consoles, I believe through PlayAsia. Yeah. I think they did one. I could be wrong, but I thought Limited Run Games had also released Rive on a different console. Again, I could be wrong, but we're finally getting a physical release on the Switch. But that's not all. If you're going to be buying both of them, go for the 2 Tribes Collection from Super Rare Games. And the reason for this is, besides getting the Toki Tori Collection and the Rive Collection, you get a exclusive tuck-end box that'll contain both of the games, but you'll also get a 2-page insert going over the entire history of 2 Tribes.
Nice.
So it's going to be essentially the same price as buying the 2 games individually, but you get a cool box to hold them in, and you get that 2-page insert, which I think is just really cool. So
and just so everybody knows, JP's correct. It was Limited Run Games number 68 for the PS4.
Oh, okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. So that is Thursday.
Yeah,
but we're not.
That's
we're
just
not done
Thursday.
Yet.
There's Friday
Thursday.
Because people hate our Wallace this week. Oh my god, because Friday's like a must back.
And you know what? I want to jump back a little bit. So Tuesday,
Ah,
Red Art Games released War Tech Fighters, which is
yep.
still available on their website. There's 2,800 copies available, and it's going to come with a cardboard outer sleeve that slips over the case. So that one is live right now on Red Art Games, and it's 29.99 euros, which comes out to like 30 something dollars. So it's not too bad. Today, Wednesday, Signature Edition released their collector edition of Stranded Sails Explorers of the Cursed Islands. And that comes in a collector box, an art card, a numbered certificate, 2 exclusive enamel pins, a quality enamel anchor keyring, an art book, a treasure map, and when you pre-order it, you get one of their Signature Edition coins, and that's $49.99 on
This is like Wallet
signatureeditiongames.com.
Buster week.
Oh yeah, so that was just the past. We went through Thursday. Friday, I'm
Well, I'm just
dubbing.
saying you've already said I am 8-bit, Signature Edition, Super Rare, Red Art, right?
Yep, and now we're
And
going
now
to limited
Limit
run
Run.
games Friday, which is so all this information is going to be on my weekly release post. I'm updating it at the end of this episode, and I'm
Like,
going to repost it.
jeez.
So here we go. We have Turok 1 and 2 coming out for the Switch at a low price, honestly, of $29.99 for the regular edition, $54.99 for the classic collector's edition.
Which
But I
comes
want to
in
just
the Nintendo 64 box, just
yeah,
like Ukulele. And
yes.
then the
It-
metal
Jumping ahead, man.
cartridges, man.
Yeah, so
Holy
you get
crap.
you get
It's time for me to interrupt, man.
You know what? I could see why you don't like me interrupting, but
Got ya.
there's so many options for buying Turok through limited run games that I just want to make sure everybody was aware. So you have the regular edition, which is open pre-order. It's going to come with foil covers, and at the time of this pre-order, Best Buy is planning to get the regular editions of Turok 1 and 2 with non-foil covers. So if you sit out, there is a chance that Best Buy will pick this up. I mean, it's not guaranteed yet. They haven't moved forward with their order, so it's not finalized. But you're going to get a foil cover through limited run games, and if Best Buy gets it, it'll be a non-foil. Then you have the classic edition. So as Jeffrey mentioned, it's coming in an N64 style box, similar to their ukulele. You get a commemorative metal N64 non-functional cartridge. You get a CD soundtrack. You get an 18 by 24 inch poster. And this is the same for both Turok 1 and Turok 2. The only difference is obviously the poster image, the box art, so all the images are going to match their respective game. It's going to be $54.99 each. Then you have the
Cheap,
option
by
of
the way.
buying. I'm sorry?
With all that stuff, that's actually super cheap. That's a good price.
That's not a bad price at all. Then you have the Turok 1 and 2 regular bundle, which is going to come in a special uh, dual pack exclusive slipcover. And if you've seen it on their website, it looks awesome because the cover is literally the 2 N64 cartridges on top of each other.
Yep.
I just think it looks awesome. But then you also can buy the Turok 1 and 2 Classic Edition together. It's not going to come in a special packaging. It's just going to be both of the Classic Editions, together in one order. But what's really cool is when you buy this one, you get a flat unfolded slipcover of that one that I just mentioned. So you'll still get that really cool slipcover that you could, fold if you want to and put the 2 regular cases into.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a few different options. But we are not done yet. We have Saturday. And Saturday is so if you are on their email distribution list, you got notified today. If you follow me on Twitter, I posted about this. But First Press Games is releasing or opening up pre-orders for their second release, which is Shadowbug. So let's talk about Shadowbug really quickly. If you remember, they initially did a triple pack for the regular edition, right before they actually did the individual pre-orders for A Whole New World. So if you did that one, you're already covered with the regular edition of Shadowbug. But if not, on Saturday, they're opening up pre-orders for the regular edition and the collector's edition. And I'm just going to go really briefly. So the regular edition is going to be 37.99 euros, which comes out to be 40-something dollars. There's going to be 3,000 copies. And what you're going to get with this is you're going to get a cover with interior art, the game itself, a 40-page in-depth manual, an exclusive slipcase that's only going to be available if you buy the regular edition. So even if you buy the collector, you won't get that slipcover.
and you get a silver colored coin that's going to be numbered. So that's the regular edition. The collector's edition is going to be limited to 1,500 copies. It's going to be 69.99 euros, and what it's going to come with is a premium box with an item tray, a gold colored coin that's numbered, a double-sided DIN A2 poster, a clear file with a surprise insert, and then you're going to get everything in the base game. So you're going to get the cover with interior art, the game, the 40-page in-depth manual. You also get a premium soundtrack. So it's the original game soundtrack. It's a 12.4 millimeter premium jewel case, a spine card OB style, a 12-page booklet, and a hardback art book, which is a DIN C4 size, high quality, 72 content-rich full color pages, all in this collector edition. That's a lot. And the only thing you don't get really is the silver coin and the slipcover that was with the regular edition. So if you are a true, I don't want to say true like you're the only one, but if you're a collector that goes for everything, you're going to kind of have to buy both to get all the cool goodies. But if not, that collector edition, I mean, has so much in it. So it's going to be exciting. They are going to be selling the soundtrack separately for 19.99 euros. But if you buy the collector edition, it's the exact same soundtrack, so you don't need to double dip. And when their pre-order is going to open up, so they're going to go live Saturday, August 17th at 6 p.m. CEST time, which I believe we are 6 hours behind or over. Oh my God, I don't actually know. Hold on. Everybody, hold on one second. CEST to EST. So it's going to be 12 p.m. Yeah, so 12 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, so we're 6 hours behind them. So Saturday at noon Eastern time is when it's going to go live, only on their website, firstpressgames.com. And that brings us to the end of the week, which is just insane. I don't think I've ever seen a week this busy.
Jeez, yeah.
Is everyone still there?
I mean, I'm like...
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably only going to be able to get, I want to get the Turok collectors. If I'm unable to, because I'm assuming snipers are going to be out. If I can't get one because I'm doing something and can't log in or whatever Friday, because I do work, just like some people do, I'll have to wait, because I'm not going to get the regular edition of that one. I'm going to wait for the 64, because otherwise I'm going to jump to like I did with Ukulele. But then there's also the 2 tribes, which is super cool.
Yeah, I love what they're adding on the cards themselves, and even though like you may think, oh, 2 pages, right, as a little like bonus, I think that's awesome. I love things like that.
Well, and to me, like, super rare. Like, I haven't bought every one of their releases just because like some of the games aren't something I would play. But like anybody who's been part of the Facebook group knows George is super passionate who runs it, which is awesome. Like, that's the thing. Like the passion behind the people is what gets me further involved with all these releases. It's the same thing about Limited Run, knowing their passion for preservation, how much they love video games is why I love getting Limited Run games too. It's that type of thing. They're not in for a quick cash grab. They're here because they love video games as much as we do. And it's the same thing in the more developers and publishers we talk to. It's like, oh my God, like everybody loves gaming as much as we do.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it's when companies, I mean, to me, when they put out these extra things that they don't need to, I mean, they could just give us a case, they could give us the cartridge, they could call it a day. And, we'd be happy, right? Because we're getting these games physically. A lot of these games are really what we want to see preserved. But when you throw in these N64 style boxes, the commemorative cartridges, the music CDs, the inserts about the history of the company, the slip covers, I mean, these little things, I mean, like you said, it really shows that they have passion for what they're doing, the respect that they have for the developers of the games to, really bring their game in the best light and with the best bang for your buck. And I mean, I'm a big supporter of the limited publishers. Clearly, I mean, I'm a big collector just to begin with, but I really do love these collector editions. I love when there's all these goodies inside because it adds more value to your purchase and it just makes it more meaningful when you get these items.
Exactly. And
yes.
I mean, it's just super great, the era that we live in, that there's so many releases. But on the other side, my wallet, my wallet is not going to be able to. I'm a gamer on a budget. My wallet won't be able to support this week.
No, this is a trying week.
I'm going to be picky, as I assume a lot of our listeners will be. So let's wrap things up since we're definitely under an hour right now.
Always.
So let's see. We talked about our Retro World Expo panel.
Mhm.
There should be announcements soon. I'm definitely gonna have to let Lance, who runs it, Lance from Retro World TV, Ito, who runs the convention, let him know that, hey, you might want to announce that we're gonna be giving away a Switch at your convention, because that might be kind of a big deal. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe they want to announce it. I don't know.
Maybe they want to announce it.
Because I'm telling you, I mean, it's great to give out a Switch, but you kind of have to give a game or two with it. I mean, otherwise, you're only playing demos.
Yeah,
And I don't want someone to go home, possibly, and not be able to really experience some fun games. And I've got some really cool ones, like, I don't know, maybe we'll give away a Death Road to Canada as one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I know I purposely was interrupting JP so he didn't keep unveiling things earlier, but he definitely did it.
You know what? I love the Switch, and I love getting people excited about the Switch. So yeah, sorry but not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
There's actually another thing that I'm gonna be doing. Literally the Saturday before we launched the Switch Collector, I was invited to a grand opening of a game store in San Antonio. My buddy Eli runs it, and it's Game LA, and I think he said he has like almost all sealed games.
Oh my God.
So like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy. He mentioned Game Boy.
You're thinking of me, aren't you?
Yeah. He also runs Pico Interactive, so like
wait, seriously?
The dude is super knowledgeable. He's the guy that goes around and collects all the IPs. So a lot of retro game enthusiasts.
40 Winks?
Yeah, and he released 40 Winks. He's gonna have all the releases there. But he also has rubbed a lot of the retro gaming community wrong, because like he literally owns the IPs of games. So he's told people, please don't make repros of it. And people have taken that like bad, and I'm like, no, the guy is all about preservation and bringing back old, dead, unreleased games, and he's getting them remade and fixed. So if if something isn't finished, he gets it finished with programmers. Like,
wow,
he may have the Guinness World Record for the amount of IPs owned for retro games.
Oh my God,
like he has lots. And so I think this is going to be the only public grand opening. And from there on, he said he's going to do something about like an appointment only game store where people are going to come in by appointment. If it gets super popular, he may open it more. But like I actually got to break bread with Eli in Austin at Classic Game Fest. He came and hung out, and we actually like hung out like a lot. It was really cool to catch up with him. It was the first time I was able to meet him in person. I also asked him about the Coleco Chameleon debacle, because he was part of that, and it was crazy how much the wool was pulled over everybody's eyes, because he had no clue. Like, he was just providing them with stuff and just to show off, and like the guys wouldn't tell him anything. He was like, I don't know why they're not telling me anything. Like, it was crazy. So like, Eli's a really cool dude. Again, another bro. Like, he literally is passionate about stuff, and it's gonna be super cool to check out Game LA at their grand opening. So it's gonna be, a couple days before we launch. I'm probably going to have a promo case with me. Switch Collector promo case. Somebody who comes out and visits in San Antonio to the launch. It has to be an in-person thing for that one, for sure. And JP, I want you to talk about, I know you got some giveaways going on.
Yes, thank you. I have them open.
Yeah,
so I have.
That's always what we finish with. Finish it.
I'm telling you, I keep thinking I always have like the biggest giveaway I've done yet, and then I top myself.
Like, geez. I said, no,
yeah,
man.
So,
like, geez, it's so much.
So let's talk about the two that I'm running. So the first one I started last Friday. It's going to go till this Friday. So when you listen to this, it's still going to be live, and it's actually pinned to my Twitter page. It's the Limited Run Games giveaway. It's our biggest one yet. I partnered with Destiny FOMO. I partnered with Limited Run Games. And what we're doing is there's going to be two prizes, two winners, the Gold Collection and the Silver Collection. The Gold Collection is a brand new Nintendo Switch, and it's actually going to now be the new and improved one since they're more readily available and I can order them. You're going to get an exclusive limited run Switch case that they sell on their site. We're giving away a collector's edition of Thimbleweed Park, their first release, Mercenary King / Flint Hook, their second and third release collector edition. We're giving away Iconoclast Classic Edition, which is in that awesome Super Nintendo box. You're going to get a silver Iconoclast card. You're going to get a gold limited run game sticker, and that's the first prize. And I think that's pretty cool. The silver collection, you're going to get a regular copy of their Golf Story and Shantae Pirate's Curse, I believe.
Shantae!
Yeah.
Not Shantae.
No, Shantae.
Shantae.
And you get a silver card of their Shantae. But that's not
with Mario.
But that's not all, because I thought, you know what, we still need to kind of go bigger and better. So I actually added an additional game. So I'm going to read you what that one is. So give me 1 second. So for I have announced that we're going to be adding the Slime Sand Collector's Edition as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that post. That's cool.
And I feel really bad because I actually don't remember if I said it's for the first place or the second place anymore. I have to double check. I mean, these contests are just getting so big that like I have to look at my own thread just to remember what I'm offering. And that's mainly because unfortunately you can't edit a tweet. So I obviously have to just post, once and then retweet it. But now I'm trying to look and I'm trying to see. Oh, here we go. The second place prize could use a little something more. So second place is now going to get a Slime Sand Collector's Edition. So boom, 3 games, 1 collector edition for the second place winner. But I even put out a challenge to everybody. I said that if we could get to 3,000 likes and or retweets, I'm going to add an extra game to the first and second place winner on top of the Slime Sand. So there is still time to enter. There's still time to support this giveaway. Right now, just to let everyone know, we're at 2,700 likes, 2,600 retweets. So we're literally almost there. And I will throw in an extra collector edition to the first place winner, maybe a collector's edition to the second place winner. And this contest has just been bananas. It's been awesome. But that's actually not the only giveaway that I'm doing, because why only do one a week? The other one I launched today. It's a flash giveaway, so I put it up really quick. It's only going to be for 2 days, so it's going to end on Friday. But I partner with Dispatch Games, and we're giving out 2 codes each of their Siberia Delta and Penguin Wars eShop codes. So they're digital copies of the games. There's going to be 2 winners, and each winner is going to get both copies of those games. And that is super cool. It's awesome. I mean, the giveaways are great. I think a lot of people haven't played these games, or maybe they've heard about them and they just really want to try them out, and this is their chance to get them. But I'm going to tell you now, right here, so this is exclusive to the Switchmania Playcast. The next giveaway for JP Switchmania channel is going to go live on Friday. So it's going to kind of, cross over with the other 2 giveaways. And I'm calling it the Ultimate Starter Pack giveaway. And you know what? I'm going to reveal what the first prize is going to be. I'm not going to tell you what the second and third prize are going to be. You're going to have to wait. But this is what the first place is going to get. So I hope everybody's ready. You're going to get a brand new Nintendo Switch. You're going to get the first printings of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Explorers Edition that came with the map and the guidebook. Dang. You're going to get the Splatoon starter pack that came with, I think it was a guidebook and stickers. You're going to get the Super Mario Traveler's Pack that came with the guide. Yep. Sorry, I'm just so excited. Can't fix my pronunciation. You're going to get the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu bundle with the Pokeball. And that's going to be the first place winner. And there may still be something else included, but it's the Ultimate Starter Pack or Starter Collection giveaway. So I'm very excited.
That's ridiculous. It's awesome, though.
Yeah, and I do actually want to just say at this point, thank you to everyone that's been supporting JP Switchmania. We're almost at a year since we officially launched the website, since I really started the JP Switchmania brand. We passed 10,000
You passed 10,000 followers, man, which was a
on
goal.
Friday.
That was a goal.
Yeah, it's been a goal for a long time. We were at a friend's house when we launched the limited run games giveaway, and I'm looking at Shannon, I'm looking at my friend, we're watching, the page, and we just see the number start going, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna hit 10,000 today. And we hit it, and we're all in the kitchen, just like I'm just screaming. It's like literally those videos where the person gets into college and you record the video of them reading the acceptance letter. That's how I felt. I was just like jumping for joy. It's been a goal of mine since I started this. But today I hit another milestone. We just passed 11.1 thousand followers today.
Jeez, building up.
It's insane. And I just want to say I officially sent in my request to become a Nintendo brand ambassador today. I've been speaking with them for a while. They've had some guidelines. I don't know if I'm eligible, but I thought it was time, and I sent in my request, and I really hope this has been a very big goal. Jeffrey knows this, and a lot of people know this. It's been a personal goal of mine, and I really hope to share good news in the future. But if not, I feel good that I hit this milestone that I've been working towards, that I could not have done without my amazing review team, without Erica, without Chad, John, oh my God, Alan, Frank, Bradford, Steven, you. I mean, Jeffrey, thank you so much for including me on this playcast. To everyone that's been supporting and following and talking with me on social media, it's been just like the most amazing time I've had this past year. All the developers, publishers who believed in my site when I first started, that sent us the codes, that allowed us to play their games and promote them and review them honestly. I mean, just honestly to like everybody, the publishers, like even that aren't sending out review codes, just talking with me and just letting me be part of the community and letting me help promote your games and your upcoming releases. I mean, it's just been like honestly like the happiest time. So just want to say thank you to everybody.
If you can't tell, JP is passionate about the
just a little bit.
And, I mean, that's the thing though, is it like that goes a long way. People can tell when you're genuinely like interested in part of something. Like we're like in it to win it. Like we're in it. Like the thing is, like with anything that we're doing, like we're doing it because we love the Switch. Like if we're ever going to release games, it's because we want more games on the Switch. Like that's it. Like there's no end goal in sight. There's no motive. It's we want more games. There is a thing like we're probably going to try to do as many extra cool items with the Switch collector, but I think like what we've been kind of talking about is, and this could be a little exclusive, is that we may be having a Unikeep case.
Yes.
And
yes, we can talk.
It's gonna
in
be,
the works right now.
It's going to be giveaway. Like nobody's going to be buying it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be like definitely the first backers of the everything tier for sure. We'll know how many later. But like, and then we're gonna do some as giveaways and things too.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, it's stuff that we get for review and things like that. That's gonna be going out to everybody. And one other thing that I forgot to mention about the store launch is, aside from, I actually am going to be doing a live stream, because aside from the Switch collector promo case, which is an actual Switch cartridge, Switch case, not cartridge, but I'm still working on getting the pin and everything, and manual. But also be giving away copies of Retro Magazine, because Pico Interactive Eli owns Retro as well.
That's awesome.
So like Retro Magazine as well, which I think he just had a merger with another magazine too. So like it's gonna be super cool. But you just want to put that out there that, hey, we will be doing a live stream that Saturday. So those that are listeners, like there's at least going to be one Switch item given away. I said initially it may be exclusive to people that are attending, but maybe we'll make it exclusive to everybody. Why not?
And this actually is a good segue to just mention one other magazine, and that's Switch Player Magazine.
Absolutely.
So for those who know or don't know, Switch Player Magazine is the only dedicated print and digital Nintendo Switch magazine that is out there. They're UK-based. They ship worldwide. They're amazing. They release quality content each month to your inbox or to your mailbox. I'm actually part of the team as an interviewer.
Yep.
So I've been fortunate enough to interview amazing developers, publishers, just fellow gamers in the community that have had a big impact. And I'm very happy to announce that as long as all goes to plan, the September issue, the issue that'll go out and it'll arrive during the campaign of our Switch Collector book, will feature an interview with Jeffrey Wintenhagen. Yeah. So you'll get to know more about Jeffrey. You'll get to know more about the Switch Collector book, and what better timing to get excited than when the Switch Collector book is live. So
and that created a crazy promo image that'll go in the magazine.
Yes. So switchplayer.net is where you can go to learn more about signing up, about getting back issues. Follow them on social media, Switch Player Mag. Great company, honestly, like a great team. I am so fortunate that I've been a part of them for a year now. Like August is when I officially joined their team. Man. And aside from doing interviews, they also allow me to do a collector corner. So it's a one-page feature each month. Yeah, where I talk about a cool collector item, whether it's old or just came out, maybe obscure. So I try and capture all of that. And yeah, Paul is just a great guy. He's editor-in-chief. He founded the magazine, and I'm really excited for the September issue.
So that being said, we need to also mention the other partnership with Video Games Monthly.
Yes, we do.
Because the Switch Collector's also going to be on a card going in the loot boxes for the month. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, they were kind enough.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Grant.
Joe and Grant were kind enough to reach out, and JP gave me specifications, but I essentially created a custom version of what's on the Kickstarter page as a bio, but I also added some VGM, Video Games Monthly style art on there because it'll be a good partnership with them. And I've actually I talked with them in Midwest Gaming Classic about doing a NES manual for them that we could put in one of their boxes where it's like
God, that'd
crappy
be so
LGN
cool.
games. I already have the book done. It just costs a lot of money to make it. So you all support VGM, Video Games Monthly.
Yeah.
Like that might
be
something to do.
And for those who don't know, Switch Collector has brought back collecting, but retro games is where it all started from, and that's what Video Games Monthly is. So for those who don't know, the elevator pitch is that each month you can get a box of retro games sent to your house. So it's 3, 4, 5, or 10 games sent to your house. On their website, when you sign up, you put in the systems you own or you want games for. You select the games you own already so you don't get duplicates. They do not send out the yearly sports titles. They don't send out the dollar bin games. It's honestly amazing games. I've been a member since 2015 now. So this is going on 4 years now, and it's been Mario, Final Fantasy, Zeldas. It's everything. Kid Icarus, Metroid. It's all the big name games. It's the obscure games that maybe you remember seeing in the store when you were younger. Maybe this is the first time you're getting to experience games, and they cover nearly every single console going from the Atari to the Wii U. That's a lot of consoles. So there's a good chance that there's a console that you want to collect for or you want to get into collecting. And, they go to so many conventions, so you can always meet them. They are a great group of people. They are collectors and gamers themselves, so they have a strong passion for this. And, like I said...
You see an ongoing theme with the episode. Like, a lot of passion.
A lot of passion. And that's why it's so easy to promote companies that do these kind of things.
And let us say that we're not sponsored by any of these companies. We literally support them, and they're obviously doing a partnership with the Switch Collector, which is awesome. That's why we're talking about them. Like, there's no sponsorship.
No, and since 2015, I've been paying monthly for my box. That's how much I believe in them. Like, I have done the 3-tier game, I've done the 5-tier, I've done the 10 game. I have always felt that you get your money's worth, and I've always enjoyed. I love the variety of games. Some you can change it up each month. So maybe one month you really just want NES games or Nintendo games, and one month you want Sega games. You can do that. That's what I love about it. And every box is customized to you. So it's not like Loot Crate where everybody gets the same items and maybe there's a game, one genre that you like and the rest you don't. Every box is tailored to that person because everyone is collecting differently. And they always throw in freebie items. So, they've thrown in yo-yos, calendars, they've thrown in sunglasses, like cool items like that. You always have the option of getting bonus free 1-up, 2-up, 3-up games in your boxes. It honestly is great. And I've had the pleasure of meeting them in person. So it's just, to me, it just solidified, like, yeah, this is such a great company.
They definitely party, too, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, they know how to party. So videogamesmonthly.com, learn all about them. VidGamesMonthly on Twitter. And yeah, I mean, what more can we say? They're a great company, and I'm happy to be partnering with them on the Switch Collector book. And also, there's other partnerships that we're talking about. So the month that the Kickstarter is live, there's going to be a lot of giveaways, I think, and a lot of talk about this, and just a lot of backing from the community, which I think is great.
I will say that, like, aside from just YouTuber buddies talking about previous books, like, this is gonna be the most hype behind one of my launches.
Woohoo! That was my
Awesome.
goal.
Which is crazy to me. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see, because the
Right.
hardest part is that, like, getting people to just know that it exists. Like,
Hmm.
especially like the first day, everybody's on Kickstarter, so they see it.
Right.
But like after that, like, there's nobody talking about your project, and it's tough.
Oh, there's one person talking about your project every day.
Well,
You better believe.
and the key is, though, is that, like, that, like, with the magazines and getting places, like, that's that billboard style recognition, which is pretty crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope, like, our initial goal is let's get people aware of it. Let's meet the base goal. Let's get the book printed, right? I mean,
That's
that's what
it.
we want. We want the book in everybody's hands, on their coffee tables, with them. After that, let's hit the stretch goals. Let's make it even more fun. Let's offer more options. But honestly, I mean, this is a passionate project from two collectors, two gamers, and I could not be more thrilled that if I ever had to be a part of your book, or your very first book, I'm so glad it's the Switch Collector.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think,
And it's
yeah.
gonna be interesting if we can get you writing about the collector sections, because I have to poke at JP. get,
Ah,
get the
I was one.
writing.
I. Ah.
I think it's a good time to wrap things up, because
Yeah,
we're
I think so
we're
too.
gonna gotta keep it short.
Under an hour.
Under an hour. So as always, you can find me at HagensAlley.com. Of course, the Switch Collector is at Switchopedia.com.
Hmm.
You can go to that website. We figured that's gonna be a lot easier for people to remember than going to a long link, like even a
Yes.
tiny URL. I'm on social media at Hagen's Alley on Facebook and Twitter, and then Instagram I'm at Hagen's Alley Books, because Hagen's Alley was taken. Wah, wah. I think my YouTube is still the Subcon 3, which is ironic. I probably need to change
Yes.
that.
Time to update. All right. So where am I? I am on Twitter, JP Switchmania, website jpswitchmania.com, YouTube Switchmania,
You
JP Switchmania, blah. Instagram JP Switchmania. So type in JP Switchmania, you'll find me somewhere. And seriously, if you are a collector, if you're a gamer, if you have a question about just anything Switch related, reach out to me. My DM is open. I'm happy to talk all day long about the Switch. And I did want to say, I said this at the beginning of the episode, and I'll say it again. We are running an exclusive giveaway through the Switchmania Playcast. So all you
Yeah.
have to do is go give us a 5-star review, take a screenshot of it, and on social media, preferably Twitter, that's where I am, just take a screenshot, tag myself, JP Switchmania, tag Hagen's Alley, let us know you did it. And what we'll do is on the next episode, we are going to announce a winner. So this is only going to be through the Switchmania Playcast. So I'm really hoping you stay till the end. I hope you leave us that review, leave us some feedback, take a screenshot, post it, enter for a chance to win Citus Alpha, brand new with the CD from PM Studios. And that's my final comment.
Yeah, and let's play some God Eater 3 for next week. We
Yes.
will see you on the flip side.
See ya.